Hello. Oh, look, how's Ellen there already? Hi, Margot, Janae, Kevin, Barb Olson. Hello, Captain Lee Fan, Ann Rose. Let's see. Well, I should get in my other thing and put on the live chat. Hold on, let me go on to YouTube. YouTube. There we go.
Is
Oh,
the
now
title
this is-
Alex Murdaugh's brother John Marvin takes the stand?
Yeah. This
Okay.
is automatically, looks like it's going to live chat now on my thing. Is it working that way for
Come on.
everybody? I think it's doing that on mine. Hi, got to be me. Got to be me. Deborah. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Bucky Ann. Okay, so today the defense rested. And the beginning was just a lot of expert witnesses from the defense to kind of put some reasonable doubt in there, and they tried to do that with pathologist saying that they agreed with everything that the prosecution's Dr. Reamer said, except for the direction of the bullet into Maggie, and then there was something also on Paul about skin tags in the back, and that they didn't x-ray the brain, and they didn't shave his head, and so it was a long drawn out thing, and you can go and listen to it if you want to go through all of that, but the gist of it is this one pathologist is saying that it doesn't jive, and then there's like buckshot and birdshot, and I think what they're trying to do is get into the juror's mind that were there two shooters, what's going on, could this one man have done this, what's going on. And then the witness that I really enjoyed watching was John Marvin. He is not an attorney. He's the only one of the brothers that's not an attorney. He deals with heavy equipment, rentals, and things like that, tractors. But there were things in his testimony that there was a very short cross-examination from the prosecution. But the thing about the switching of the cars did not make any sense to me. Okay? So, and there's also a discrepancy when the chief financial officer came up and explained that when she went to confront Alex on the 7th and he came into her office, he got a call or a text, and he said his father was back in the hospital and the prognosis was grim. There was nothing more they could do for him. And that's when she became like a friend to him and said, don't worry, we'll discuss this another time. That was the 7th, the day of the murder of Maggie and Paul. Now, when John Marvin tells this story, he says that his brother Randy called him and said, look, we got to get Dad in to be seen. Now, the father had cancer, but he was having breathing issues, and they called and they said, you've got to bring your dad, right? Bring him in to be seen. They thought they were just going to see him at the office. But apparently from where the parents lived to where this office was could be around an hour or so. They didn't want John Marvin to come all the way up to get him and come back. So Randy was going to meet him at a place halfway. And I whispered to me, and switch the father off. But what was going to happen was Randy was going to be driving his mother's car. Now, his mother has dementia. She's not going to be driving anymore. So it wasn't that she had to use this car. So instead of getting the father out, he's comfortable in that car. John Marvin gets in that car, and Randy, takes the truck back to the house, parents' house, and his truck is identical to Paul's regular truck. But Paul's truck just so happened to be getting work done on it. Okay? So, he was using this farm truck that was a piece of crap. I think that's what he called it. A load of junk, a piece of crap. So, John Marvin says they were kind of still in COVID stuff. He wasn't allowed to go back in the hospital with the father, but they said to him that he thought was good news. They said, we don't think this is related at all to your dad's cancer, and we just, we don't think it is. We think it's something else, and we think it's, we'll be able to treat it. And he thought, okay, good, considering everything, that was better news than he thought. So that doesn't jive with Alex and the chief financial officer thing, right? Okay. The next thing is he goes home, which he doesn't even make clear at this point. At this point, he almost makes it sound like he asked Paul to come to the hospital because he had his mother's car. But he must have gone home. And when he goes home, this guy that has all these rentals and this heavy equipment is worried about having his mother's car. I don't know why he is so concerned with having his mother's vehicle. It doesn't make any sense. And it's not that he needed his truck, because when you hear what he did, it really makes no sense. And of course, the mother doesn't need her car back. The mother is not driving a vehicle anymore. The mother has dementia. Okay, so he calls Paul and he says, you have to come here and pick up this car and drive this back to my parents, your grandparents' house. So instead of what you would think, Paul would come down with John Marvin's truck, right? That would be the normal thing. Take John Marvin's truck down there, take the grandparents' car and bring it back. He comes down all the way, which is a long way. Now, this doesn't even make sense. If this farm truck was so unreliable, why would Paul be taking this farm truck down to John Marvin's? It makes no sense, and they didn't question him at all about this. They didn't even want to get into this. And to me, there's something so weird with this. It doesn't make any sense. So he drives the farm truck down there, which is white also, and the other two trucks are white, and they are exactly the same. He leaves the farm truck at John Marvin's. That night, John Marvin gets a call that's very, very bad about Paul and Maggie. Very, very bad from Alex. So he's in his pajamas, he said. He said Alex called him earlier and he was watching a movie and stuff with the family, but then Alex called him later and was very distraught and said something very bad happened to Paul and Maggie. Please come down. So he says, oh gosh, how am I going to get there? That farm truck is a piece of crap. Well, what the heck did he ask Paul to bring the farm truck for? And then he says, I can't use my wife's car because she has to bring the kids to school in the morning. So he sets off on this with this farm truck. And as he's driving, he said this farm truck is like ready to break down. So he just happens to be going by a town in which they know the chief of police. I misbehaved. So he calls the chief of police and he tells him, look, something really bad happened at my brother's. I'm on my way, but I don't trust this vehicle. Would you make sure that I get there? So this chief of police, which we find out a little later when the prosecutor says, didn't your brother lend money to this chief of police? So it's kind of weird that he called this chief of police to come out with him, right? So he gets this chief of police and he says that the guy is driving with him. But then the guy goes up ahead of him and that's when John Marvin's, the truck he's driving, totally breaks down. So he has to call the chief of police back. Chief of police comes back. He gets in the car with him and they go on to Moselle. Now, this is so crazy. his truck, okay, because now Paul took John Marvin's truck. After he drove the parents back, he took John Marvin's truck back to Moselle. And he parked that in the front by the house. It wasn't by the dog kennels when John Marvin got there. So John Marvin gets there, and the other really couple of weird things he says was the next day, that's when he said his father's condition was bad, and he was going to come home and be on hospice, and he died 2 days later. That was the 8th. He died on the 10th. So he says that when he went into the house, there were people in there, and they were cleaning up, and they were putting dishes away, and they were washing dishes, and they were putting pans in the refrigerator, and he mentioned that. And then the next day, he's there again, and he's the first one there. Okay, I don't know where Alex is, but John Marvin's the first one there. And John Marvin starts to clean up the crime scene. So he says, I don't know what I was saying, but I knew I had to do this for Paul, and I start to clean up the crime scene. I should never have had to do this. Nobody should ever have to do this. And I was saying things to him and talking to him, and then they said, hi, Jujubes. Well, his brother calls, Randy, tells him, stop it. What are you doing? Don't do that. And he tells him, I just can't stop doing it. So he was cleaning up the crime scene there. And then, what was the other weird thing that John Marvin said that was so weird? Okay. Clean up the crime scene. He talks about cleaning up, well, he doesn't know if it was brain or if it was tissue. Oh, the phone. So at some point, he sees Buster. And Buster, he says to Buster, does your mom have that Find My Phone thing or something there on her phone, or do you have it? So somehow through Buster's phone, they use this Find My Phone, and they see that Maggie's phone is alerting, well, where it was found, or he said towards the end of the driveway and then towards the property. He said that he went to the SLED agents. Now, he casts doubt on the way the SLED agents handled stuff as well. So he says he went to the SLED agents, and he's like, look at this, and he's showing them Buster's phone, and he said, it's saying Maggie's phone is here. Do you want to go with us? We'll go find it. And they said, this is according to John Marvin, we don't need that. We have our own stuff. We'll worry about that later or something. So he was really upset, he said, and he found a solicitor that he knew, and he showed it to him, and he said, oh, wow, let's go find this right now. So they went out to go find it, and he said he can't believe the SLED agents didn't go to find it. Okay, so yeah, the John Marvin had his hand in that as well, along with
Why would it work?
What? Who's that? So I'm trying to think here now. So that was weird. The way the phone was found, remember, it was just like laying there. So that was that. And what other things did he say that was a little bit crazy? He mentioned how Paul was, when he came to drop the car off, played with his kids. He was a little bit dirty. He said he had been dirty, and but that was the last time that he saw him. And he, that was really about it. I have a lot of questions about the car, the phone, like all of that. And they asked him about Blanca. When did she get to the house on the 8th? And he said, oh, way after me. I don't even remember. There were so many people in and out of the house. So I don't know. There's a lot of doubt they're trying to bring into it. So the defense rested, and then after they had the jury go out, then the Creighton Waters stood up and said he has 3, 4, or did he say maybe 5 witnesses? But I think he said 3 to 4. 3 definitely, maybe a 4th. He said they're not going to take a lot of time. 1 may take a little bit of time, but not a really considerable amount of time. And then you could see Harpootlian was shaking his head, and he jumped up and he said, well, I don't want to offend you. And at this time, Creighton Waters jumped right up. He goes, but this prosecution has like no idea of time, because they said this trial was supposed to be 3 weeks. So I just want to say, you guys really are not like the best at estimating how much time something's going to take, in other words. And the judge was like agreeing, like, this is crazy. So he said, well, I really do think it's going to be quick, and I think will be done tomorrow. And then Harpootlian said, well, we probably have to judge that where we are in the afternoon on Wednesday and see what's going on then. But that if this was done and they were able to start their closing arguments, I'm sorry, well, they'll see. So we'll see where it is tomorrow. But, well, I'm going to take a poll now, because the polls on the Law and Crime site went way, way, way down for guilty. So let's see what happens here. Hi, Janae. So are you? Okay, let's see. Start a poll. Okay, let's see what happens here. And I don't see. I'm on live chat and I can't see. Oh, I see what's going on. All right, let's see what we have. 56 guilty. Votes are still coming in. 12 not guilty, 27% a hung jury, and 4% are undecided. So let me just pull something else up just about the Oh, the other thing, yeah. They want the jury to see Moselle. And, well, the defense does. They approached the judge with that first. It was in the beginning. And now they said that it's a little bit... Harputulin said he wants the jury to view it after initially saying he didn't want it, but he said that there were people trespassing on the Moselle property over the weekend trying to take selfies and such at the kennels in the house. And the judge said that the scene will be secured by law enforcement and the jury will not be subjected to paparazzi if they go out there or a carnival atmosphere. And they had to understand that there are trees that were not there or were very small when the murders happened that have now grown in, and so they have to understand that was not the way it was on June 7th of 2021. Now, this is the pathologist that was on this stand for quite some time. That's Dr. Jonathan Einstadt, a forensic pathologist consultant. He demonstrates the gunshot wounds, talks about them, and the one he doesn't agree with. Now, these witnesses that came in were paid a lot of money for their testimony. So this guy is going to get like $8,500 for his testimony with today. And there's another one that was paid $10,000. He says he thinks the shot came from the same direction into Maggie as the deadly one that hit her first in the side of the head near her left jaw, which blew her earlobe off, and then went down into her breast. And he says the skin tags, and these are exactly what they sound like, it's damage to the skin that hangs down in little like flaps, indicates the shot to the jaw breast came likely from the same direction as the one into her head, likely in back-to-back succession. So he agrees with Dr. Reamer that Maggie was likely doubled over or down on all four for those shots. But he said he called the wound to Maggie's breast a beautiful, that's his word he used, example of a bullet wound. He quickly apologized and clarified that he meant it was textbook perfect, something you would see in a medical pathology textbook. And he disagrees with Reimer about the gunshot wound to Paul's head. He believes the fatal shot to Paul came from a direct contact shotgun wound to the back of Paul's head, meaning the gun barrel was likely right up against his head when the shot was fired. He says that contact range gunshots from shotguns would result in the type of destruction of the back of Paul's head like what he had, and the pellets traveling tightly through his head, out of his jaw, and into the shoulder in the exact opposite direction of what Dr. Reamer suggested. He also, like I said, mentioned that the head wasn't shaved, so he couldn't see if there was burning on the skin to indicate that it was a contact shot, and there was no x-ray of the brain. So I imagine the defense is probably going to have Dr. Reamer back on tomorrow as one of the rebuttal witnesses. And then they had Savannah Good on. Excuse me. She did it. I'm very sorry. She did the cross-examination. She said that, they talked about the blood spatter. That was the other thing the defense said, that whoever shot Paul, where it blew his brains out of his skull and blew the back of his head off, that they have this spatter from that all over them. And Einstadt said yes, that he would imagine that whoever did that would have that stuff all over them. Okay. Then a forensic scientist also testified, Tim Palmbach, a forensics expert. He was on the stand next. Like I said, this stuff, a lot of people that I spoke with, it just like, I don't know how the jury was with this stuff, like just for so long, and seeing those really graphic pictures, because they kept covering the pictures. They had to show the autopsy photos again, but it went on for a tremendously long time, and a lot of people like just kind of tune out of it. So he said he was shown Paul's head wounds, and it appeared consistent with a contact entrance wound, not the exit wound that Dr. Reamer suggested. So both of these expert witnesses were there to put the doubt that Dr. Reamer is wrong about the gunshot to Paul's head. And then they brought on John Marvin, and we talked all about John Marvin already. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. John Marvin was looking at the jury. I don't know if you caught him doing that, smiling with them. I think he was even winking at them in times. People think that he helped his brother's defense because of his demeanor and the way he was. His nickname for Paul was Rooster or Little Rooster. He spent a lot of time with Paul. Here's a picture of Bus and John Marvin. John Marvin said media inflamed rumors after the boat crash were totally blown out of proportion. He didn't feel there was as much community backlash as there was social media backlash. They asked him about his family name and how important was that and the legacy and all this stuff. And he said, no more important than yours or mine. Yes, it's important to me, but it's no more important than yours, talking to the prosecutor. And he said that when SLED finally searched their parents' house in Alameda in September, they told him they took a coat they found somewhere back on the property. Later, he was shown a photo of the blue raincoat and was told it was found in the house. He never got an explanation of the discrepancy between the two locations given. And he said he never could remember his father even cleaning a gun, so no understanding how anything would have gunshot residue on it. That would be the father's. And then there was something like, did you have an interview with SLED, with your wife? Yes. And yourself and Buster? Yeah. And they said, do you remember saying, them asking you about the raincoat and Buster saying that if it's over $15, well, then it's not my grandfather's. And that was an objection. It was sustained, so he didn't answer it. And he said he didn't remember anything about that raincoat. And I don't know why, if it really was in the interview, there's another thing. Why didn't the prosecutor just bring out the transcript to that interview? I don't know. I'm sure it was recorded, so I don't understand why he didn't do that. Usually they ask them, if they say no, then they say, here, will you look at this and this will refresh your memory? I don't know why they didn't do it. Anyway, the defense renewed its motion for a directed verdict. The judge denied it on the same grounds that he did when the prosecution rested their case, and so tomorrow morning they'll be back at it again with the rebuttal witnesses, and we're getting to the end of this, so that's good, but who knows what the verdict is going to be. Everybody is, a lot of people are changing their minds. In fact, some people said earlier that they would vote not guilty now, based on what there is. So let me go back to here. Okay, so let's look at our poll. It's 58% is guilty. Remember how in the beginning this was like way up, 70s, sometimes in the 80s maybe, but at least into the 70s, and come down on a lot of different forums. So, yep. Interesting. We'll leave it up for a little more just in case people haven't voted. And you know what? Just want to move it out of the way. I don't want to. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to move you out of the way. Usually it lets me clear the poll so I can see the chat. Hey, Catty Texas Girl, thank you for being a member for 12 months. Hi, I'm glad you're crafting. I feel like crafting too. I have my basket there. I was supposed to be doing a craft the last 2 days and I haven't gotten to it yet. It's still there. Trying to see what everybody's saying. Okay, let me see now. Oh, let's see what else. You know, we were talking earlier today about Leticia Stauch, and because there was someone that didn't know anything about the case, and I was surprised at how much going into that. And I think we're going to do a refresher. We might do it tonight. I don't know, because that is going to be the next big trial. Okay, let me get just see what's going on in. Besides the snowstorms and everything going on. So let's see. Okay, well, here's an update. You remember Athena Strand, the little girl that was taken by that FedEx driver, remember, right, before Christmas? They're going to go for the death penalty for that. Let's see, prosecutors are going to seek the death penalty against the killer. Let's see. The district attorney in Texas will seek the death penalty against Tanner Lynn Horner, who was arrested and charged with capital murder. He's being held on a $1.5 million bond. District Attorney James Stanton filed court documents in federal court this past week informing the judge that he will seek the death penalty. Okay. If he's found guilty of capital murder. The suspect is 31. He confessed to abducting and killing her while he was delivering packages to her family's home. He says that he accidentally hit her with the truck while backing up. He panicked and put her in the van. He went on to tell police that she was alive and talking to him when he tried to break her neck. After he failed to do so, he strangled her. He told police during his interview that he strangled her because she was going to tell her father about being hit with the FedEx truck. That's the update on that one. Yeah, okay. You remember, oh gosh, Joel guy with the mother's head in that pot on the stove? There's a really, really sick case now with a Abby Choi. I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name, but she is an Asian fashion model, and she was found dead in an apartment in Hong Kong. And let's look a little bit at this. Let me get some of this information up here. This is really sick case. Her ex-husband and her in-laws are charged with her murder, too. Yeah. So let me get her picture. This is her picture. think. Yeah, here we go. So her ex-husband and her ex-in-laws were detained on charges of Abby's murder after police found body parts in a refrigerator and in a pot. Okay, this has really gripped their community because violent crime like this is very rare there. Her ex-husband, Alex Kwong, his father, and his brother were charged with murdering her. Now, she is like I said, she's a fashion model. Her ex's mother, Jenny Lee, faces 1 count of perverting the course of justice. None of the suspects, all 4 of them, none of them were granted bail. She was 28 years old with more than 100,000 followers on Instagram. She went missing February 21st, and her last Instagram post was February 19th. And that's when she had just got off a photo shoot with a fashion magazine in Monaco. On Friday, police found her body dismembered in a refrigerator in a house that was rented by her ex-father-in-law. And that's in a suburban part of Hong Kong, about a 30-minute drive from mainland China. They also discovered a young woman's skull, believed to be hers, in a cooking pot seized from the house, and there was a hole in the skull. Of the suspects, none of them have entered a plea. It doesn't appear their lawyers have commented on the case to the media, and everything is adjourned until May. So she had financial disputes involving tens of millions of Hong Kong dollars with her ex-husband and his family. Some people were unhappy with how she handled her finances, and this horrific murder has just transfixed many in Hong Kong and across the border in mainland China because they don't have violent crime like this. This is really probably just totally unheard of for them. She had 4 children between the ages of 3 and 10. Now, the ex was the father of the older 2, and they're being taken care of by her mother. She remarried to a man called Chris Tam. He was the father of the 2 younger children, and they're staying with his family. Her friend Bernard Chang said that, and I quote, "I haven't imagined a person who's so good, so full of love, so innocent, a person who doesn't do anything bad will be killed like this. My heart is still heavy. I can't sleep well." He also said that she had good relationships with her family, including her in-laws, and would travel with the families of her current and former husbands together. While violent crime is very rare in Hong Kong, the case is reminiscent of other shocking killings. In 2013, a man killed his parents and their heads were later found in refrigerators. And in a 1999 case, a woman was kidnapped and tortured by 3 members of an organized crime group. Her skull was later found stuffed inside a Hello Kitty doll. So we'll follow this. It's really sad. She's the mother of 4, and there's a stroller right there. Huh. Very sad. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, they're saying Dr. Michael Baden, who's a renowned forensic pathologist, is saying that he believes that Debbie Collier, despite the autopsy report saying that she took her own life, he doesn't believe so. He believes it's a homicide. And says it's most likely murder despite the autopsy saying suicide. So that's interesting to hear. Let me see if we can get to her Instagram. This is her Instagram, embracing every moment of life with a sunflower. This was her last shoot there. Very sad there. Okay, let's see. Louis Vuitton bear. Crazy. Hi, hillbilly pie. So, yeah. Yeah, very glamorous, right? Hi, Sarah. All right. Let's see if there's anything else. Hang on. Talked about those. Guess they still haven't found that guy. I think that's probably about where did this happen? Okay. All right, I'm going to see, let's check our poll. Let me check our poll. I think it's enough time now, we should see. Okay, 59% say guilty, 7 non-guilty, 10 are undecided, 23's a hung jury. So we'll see what happens. The majority is still saying he'll be found guilty. There's a lot in that hung jury category. That means we'll do all this again. Oh, fun, fun, fun. All right, so I'm going to take another poll. Hey, creepy little thing. Hi, creepy little thing, member for 36 months. You found the live? Creepy little thing, thank you. You hardly ever come in, but you're always watching, I guess. Can you send it to me? That will be fun. Can you send that to me, please? You've called in before. I'm trying to put another poll because I want this to be interactive. Oh, I know why I can't. Did I? Wait. Why won't this go? It won't let, it must contain between, I did. 1, 2, must contain between, okay. All right, there, I just asked you guys a poll. Did you send it to me, creepy little thing? Please? %, said watch clip of Phyllis yelling. Now it's 43% said watch clip of Phyllis yelling. %, said watch clip of Phyllis.
Who's
yelling.
Phyllis?
Someone that came on our show was going to show us. She came on with a lot of promises and delivered on none.
Oh, yeah, I want to hear that.
But she had a little tiny little. She got very upset.
An outburst. I'd like to hear an outburst tonight.
I hope that creepy little thing sends me the clip.
I think they are.
Creepy, did you send it?
They said they're trying to right now. So let me,
Yeah, if you can just send me a link, creepy.
yeah, just send her a link. And I'm sure you know her email, but I put it up there anyway. Creepy little thing.
Creepy little thing.
Didn't you just put up a poll? I
And the
can't find it.
Rototele-calf.
Rototele-calf.
I have not received your email, so I don't know where you're sending it. If you could do me a favor and resend it to the True Crime Chat, but in the subject, can you just put Rototele-calf so I can search for it? Just say like, this is Rototele-calf, because I can't find you. So, and I know you said you sent it to me in the messages. Secret messages.
Carolyn,
Yes,
where did the poll go?
it's there. Which
Why
poll?
can't I?
The Murdaugh poll?
One about what you want to do next?
It should be there.
No remover would like to ask, oh, what would you do if? Question.
Okay. All right.
Find it. Wait, maybe it's, I'm on
Go ahead. You can.
messages. That's how I missed it.
Go ahead. What's your question, Snow? Oh, they're saying it's okay, Kevin. Kevin? Okay, is that the clip of Phyllis yelling is followed by the Leticia Stauch case.
And what time frame are we looking at here with this Phyllis outburst?
2020, the summer.
The summer of 2020. Okay, so we're going back to the summer of 2020.
Yeah.
Where
She
I
wanted
don't
a
know
lot
this
of help.
person.
We had to set her up with a lot of people to help her, yada, yada, yada. And then she freaked out.
Kevin said the poll disappeared for him too. I can't find the poll.
Juju,
I saw it and then it was gone.
Juju, what do you mean you really miss her? She's here. She was here the other night.
Who was? Phyllis?
No, Jujubes is saying she really misses Debbie's tooth scooter.
Oh, she was just here. She's been here. Just not the last couple days.
Watch the clip, I
I'd
guess.
look up ahead.
What?
The snow remover asked a question.
All right, let me see.
What's the question?
I'm trying to see.
Well, if
Hold
you're
on.
afraid to
If
look.
you
though,
could look up results from a test online, would you look ahead or wait until you see the doctor?
Oh, I always look ahead.
I'm
me
scared
too.
to look.
I always do.
I would
look.
look them up. I would probably look them up.
On the
Because I
patient
think
portal.
if the doctor hasn't called you, it's probably good news. I think if there was something really bad, they wouldn't even put them where you could see them.
I agree.
And they'd tell you had to come in or something.
Which would be?
I read that my result was abnormal for a PAP, and they had to do a retake the test, and it was fine. But I looked at the test early, and I scared the crap out of myself.
Sure you did.
So that was something that I shouldn't have done, because the doctor said a lot of them are abnormal.
Oh.
Yeah, he says it's just a retest, and it was fine.
Hmm.
I don't know. I would. What is it? What kind of test is it? Snow? Is it a PET scan or something?
They wouldn't put a PET scan result
I
on.
don't know. What result is it?
Live.
They have already booked me for March 2nd. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you what to do.
May I ask what kind of test it was?
March 2nd, so you have a few days to wait. If you can stand waiting, wait.
If it's really bad results, they'll call you.
Hi, little lady. Hi, little lady.
You would think they would, but
Uh-huh.
nowadays, do they?
I don't,
The full
not
body
always.
test.
I only know because I looked up my test results before I went back to the doctor, and the test said stage 4 breast cancer.
Full
Turned
body
out that
PET
that was
scan.
wong, but
I'm surprised your
when I
doctor
looked at
didn't
it,
call
I
you about
was
the PET
panic
scan right
stricken.
away.
I'll bet.
Oh my God, that is horrifying.
and then because it was during COVID, I had to wait like
Oh
I don't know
my
weeks and weeks and weeks
God,
before I got to
that's-
even go back to the doctor.
That's not fair.
Weeks?
That's
You had to
not
wait
fair.
weeks?
Wait, where did you look at the
Yeah.
results, Bucky?
Well, I
Heaven's
went to
saying I
like
would wait.
Zwanger and Passeri to have like the test done. I had the MRIs or CAT scans or whatever those were, and then you go to the portal and you sign in and you can see all your results. You see the pictures of it, and then you see the written report. When I looked at the pictures, I couldn't tell anything. So then I went to the written report,
That's
and
what
that's
I
where
did.
it said.
That's how I found
Wait.
out I had that
Yeah.
cyst in my back, the written report.
They let
Yeah.
you see a report that said
Yeah,
you
well-
had breast cancer without talking to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I don't
right.
know if it was because
Patient portal. You can do that now, Elle.
yeah.
Wait,
They have
wait,
something called the patient-
hold on a minute. What I was talking to Snow. What is Bucky Ann saying?
I never heard of such a thing.
What?
I was saying
No, we go to
I
Dr.
went for
Beamer.
like the MRIs. They were trying to see what was. I had
Yeah.
a lump in the middle of my chest, and they wanted to see what that was.
Right.
Then the results came back. It said on the report that it was stage 4 breast cancer.
Well, you didn't have it.
No, it's a rare disease. My cartilages are turning into bone. That's that thing I have. I get the blisters on my hand, and that was the only way. Now I went to the oncologist and did all that stuff, and went for the blood work, and they were like, "We don't know what kind of cancer it is because we can't find it, and it's not in your blood, and we just don't understand what to do about it." And then a month or so later, I was talking to the other doctor, and he said, "Well, if you had blisters on your hands and feet, it would be this rare disease." And I was like, I have thousands of blisters on my hands and feet. And they were like, "Oh, well, then it's probably that disease, and it's not stage 4 breast cancer." So, like, that's how I found out.
That's
In a video call with my doctor, because it was during COVID and I couldn't go see him in person.
bizarre. That's crazy.
Boy,
I mean, Snow, that's
that
up to
still
you.
is-
You know, it's it's a full body PET scan. Kevin's saying that he would wait. You know, they're testing for relapse. They're not, Snow said, and so she's afraid to look.
Yeah, I'm just surprised your doctor didn't call you. Like, I don't know. It's Canada, so it's different. I don't know, but
Is it different? It must be
I
different
don't
there.
know. Michael's oncologist would call, like, but he would get a PET scan, and it takes us like an hour to get home. He was on the phone. He already had a message on my machine that, you know, all looks good. He called himself, this doctor. No office. He was unbelievable. He is unbelievable. So he's won so many awards with cancer care and stuff. But he would call. He's spectacular, and thankfully, you know, like I don't. I have a lot of experience with oncologists, and the two that we had there for him were terrific.
Well, Snow is saying her appointment is for March 2nd, so they booked her in pretty quick. So I mean, a lot of people are saying they would wait.
I can't believe you would have a report stating that, because you really
Yep.
should have a biopsy before you confirm what stage it is.
Yeah, but they're not saying we don't.
No.
We're talking about
No,
something
she's
different.
talking
talking
about
about?
Bucky Ann.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
talking
Becky.
about
Ann.
Bucky Ann.
Oh, okay.
Like, you can tell, but to confirm the results.
That's crazy. Well, they didn't. Well, for me, they confirmed that my PAP was abnormal. Abnormal cells found.
Right.
That's what it said, and I freaked out. So when I went to the doctor, he said
Like, you
abnormal
need
cells.
steps to confirm it. You need steps to confirm.
Yeah, they didn't say
Yeah,
that on
I
the
wouldn't look
report
at it
though.
now, though, Snow, because even if you found something troubling and you wanted to call them, they wouldn't even be open, and then you worry about it all night.
It could even be an infection.
Yeah,
Nicole.
they could be, but they don't say it on the report. They
Not
just
for a
report.
PET
There's
scan,
that
not
everything
for
will
a
be
PET
nice and
scan.
clear.
Not for
That's
well,
gonna be
for
different.
Snow is different. I'm talking about like Bucky Ann now. I thought we were talking.
We're talking about, yeah,
I was
okay.
thinking about Bucky Ann in mind, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just have one test to tell
Right.
if
That's
it's
but
cancer or what stage it is. You need a bunch of tests.
right.
Are you,
But-
creepy little thing, did you send that? Because I still don't have it.
That's a funny name.
Creepy little thing.
It makes
That's
me
a
that
funny thing.
creepy little thing called love.
Creepy
I know
Just
that's
call
little,
her
not wrong,
creepy. Just
but-
call me creepy.
creepy
Creepy,
little
I
thing.
don't have it unless it went to my spam. I don't know if
Check
you
your
sent it.
spam.
Just call me creep.
I never
No.
met creepy little thing. They must be somebody that doesn't come in much.
So, yeah, your poll disappeared.
It's still there. You voted in it. That's why it disappeared.
I didn't vote in it. I didn't vote in it.
It's still
It was
there.
there, but it wasn't. Where is
It's
it?
still there.
Okay, I don't see it. Kevin didn't
Okay.
see it either.
I'm on my phone, so I can't. I'm in the Zoom. I can't really.
It is
vote
still
right
there.
now.
Couldn't
But
give a super
anyway,
chat tonight. It wouldn't let me.
Oh, well, doesn't matter.
Oh, I know why it wouldn't let
I'll
you.
go along with
Why?
it.
Because you were on
Crowd.
the wrong account. You were on your other account.
Yeah, you're
The
not
one
on
that
your
you
member. You're not on a
Right.
member account.
You're not on your
Okay.
member account. You have to go on your other device.
I
And
was
then
on
you
my
can
phone.
just-
I tried on my phone and my iPad.
Well, which one are you in YouTube with now? You weren't green when you were in there
Creepy
before.
little thing. Are you here?
I wasn't?
Now everybody wants to do this, and I don't know where it is, and you're nowhere to be found.
Can somebody tell us in the chat just give us, how would we find out?
What is wrong with
How
this?
do you search for, I don't even know how to
It's
search
hard
for
because it's
video.
not under Phyllis. It's
What is wrong with this YouTube account? Yeah, under green. I'm green.
now you are.
Now you are. So now you can do a super chat.
Let's try it.
Oh, Julian, I got your message, girl. I got your message.
Prayers know that everything is clear.
All set, Christy. We're all set with the PayPal thing. I don't know if
Creepy,
Christy's in here. I
can
just
you send
assumed.
it to me? We're all psyched up to watch it now, and the poll and everything. Can you send it?
Creepy. I really wanted to see
If you
this.
can't send it, can you tell me the date?
Can you search by
The
date?
date or the title of the video or something?
The date or title?
No, it's still doing the same thing. It's not letting me send it.
That's weird. Let me try it. Super chat.
So annoying.
No, you'll get it. Don't get frustrated.
I've been trying since the beginning of the chat. I don't know what's always wrong with my stuff.
If you ever want to send me PayPal, I could send her a super chat. Just let me know.
Oh, don't make. Where's my little?
Or you could
violin?
just PayPal her and send her a PayPal instead of a
Trying to get
super
my
chat.
little violin out for Elle, but I don't know where I put
If
it.
you
Want to
This
play
is-
something for else to go with her.
this is really important. Elle,
Nothing ever works for me.
if you send her a PayPal instead of a super chat, there'll be no fees.
Where did my?
Oh, okay.
That's true.
Where did
Because
my
because super chats take out 30%. And I-
violin
It's
go?
awful.
But I'll send her a PayPal.
Violin.
Oh,
I
That's
just-
a lot. That's like usury. You know, there should be a law against that.
Yeah, Julie.
should.
Let's put in Carolyn's PayPal more. This is always better if you want to donate. Donating to her PayPal is
I don't
going
know,
to
my
save
little violin,
the
somebody
fees
went
because
off
it's
my little
30% they take out.
Are you gonna put it right in the
Okay,
chat?
so
Yes.
a little creepy. I'm gonna end this poll, and I'm really gonna hope you're gonna send me something. Hey, thank you, Nicole Griffith. Thank you for the
You
super
know her
chat.
PayPal anyway, Al. You got it on your PayPal.
Oh, yeah.
Leticia.
Thank
Oh.
you for the
I
super
really
chat,
wanted to
Nicole.
see this Phyllis person.
I don't know
know,
who
I'm waiting to
Phyllis
see
is.
if they're
Well,
I don't
answering me.
either.
Creepy, where are you?
We need you, creepy.
Creepy,
Where's Creep?
please. Just tell
Well,
us
her
something.
name is creepy. Well, not your name is creepy, but you know what I mean. Your name literally is creepy, a little thing.
Let's see, Nicole.
Still no email from Creepy. Okay, I'm gonna go try to search for it.
Hopefully
they can give me-
That sounds so funny.
I've never heard of this person. 2 days ago, I stopped having pain. My family says probably the bone is healing, but wrong, of course. So what's going on, Captain? Did you find out why you're not having pain? But it's healing wrong. Oh, but healing wrong, of course. Oh, it's healing wrong. It's healing, but it's healing. Well, that's okay. There'll be less pain before your surgery. You'll have a week, a good, because her surgery's coming up.
Oh, no.
So she'll be pain free.
Why?
Oh, September 4th, 2023 hours, 19 minutes.
September 4th, 2020?
Yep, at 3 hours, 19 minutes.
So
Wow,
still-
creepy little thing. You are so good at
Okay,
that.
hang on.
Wait.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
September
she-
4th. I gotta go
Creepy
way,
little
way
thing
back.
found something for Carol?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
they
but I've gotta
found
go
the-
way, way, way back first.
Quite admirable.
What
How
is
are
the
you
title?
so
Is there a
good?
title on it?
Is there a title? This person is really good at the internet. I could never find anything. If you
I
asked, take me forever.
But you're good at the internet, Nicole.
Yeah, but not that far back. How would you even search for stuff like that? I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
You put in the date and what you're looking for. Should pop up.
Limiter.
All right.
Will we be able to see it here in the Zoom, or do I have to go on to?
No, we'll be able to. Oh no, you'll see it on YouTube.
Oh, all right.
You got to get on there because I don't even know who this is. Prayers for you, Snow. We will be praying for you. And Carolyn, Snow sent a super chat or a community member, that's Sergeant Rambler,
Oh,
and she
thank
says,
you.
I will let you know in the second, Carolyn, good or bad. Thanks for all the prayers, thoughts,
Thank
and
you.
advice. It's awful waiting.
Oh, it's terrible.
I just don't want you to look at that and then maybe, preliminary, it's not set in stone like what Elle said. It's not set in stone. That's just the test. And if there's anything up, there'll be further testing. So either way, no worrying. No worrying. Because that's what I did for nothing.
Oh,
That's what happened to me. So I shouldn't have done it.
They sent the super chat. Done.
oh, long weekend, I worried my brain.
Who,
fell.
you did, El?
Got PayPal.
Oh, PayPal? Thank you, El.
Yeah, because PayPal doesn't take fees.
Okay, let's
That's
see
a
now.
good idea.
All right, I think
good
I'm in
idea.
September. It's
A lot of
hard because they
people
don't
don't
give you
realize.
dates anymore. When you look at video, they just say 2 years ago. Did we get a title on it?
The title, did she say anything?
Well,
I'm
here's
waiting
Lake
for-
Erie, so I know it has to be after Lake
Under
Erie.
it's under Leticia Stauch jail interview. Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that weird that it's a Leticia Stauch thing? Isn't that
What
weird?
the freaking no way.
Who's Leticia Stauch?
That's
That doesn't
crazy.
make
We were
Oh.
talking about that. Carolyn was.
You will learn to hate her as we do.
That's weird.
Her trial's coming up.
Yeah, I know, but that's so random. Like we were just talking about that.
Oh, I know.
What did she do?
She murdered her stepson.
Yeah, 11-year-old
Wow.
Gannon Stauch out of Colorado.
And we just
He
talked
liked
about
that-
Joel Guy
Aw.
Jr., and I'm looking around Joel Guy
Yeah.
Jr.
Remember, he liked that Sonic the Hedgehog. It was around when the movie was coming out.
Oh, it's
You
so
remember?
sad. That makes me
It's
feel
Not
sad.
seeing Leticia yet.
It was horrible.
Scott Peterson,
I wonder how
Scott
the parent feels
Peterson.
because the parent brought that other person into that kid's life, you know?
See, now I need some Tums.
I know. This
Do you have any
Juice is-
pickles in the refrigerator? Go have some pickle juice.
yeah, pickle juice is good. I got some pickles after we were talking about pickle juice and all that.
Good for
I bought-
heartburn. It really
Oh,
is.
Is that really good for all of
I
them?
It
I
really
got-
is.
I got some half sours with fresh dill and
Okay,
garlic.
I'm seeing my
all
colonoscopy. What did they say it was? September
4th, September
so then it
4th,
was
2020,
2020.
at 3 hours, 19 minutes. I believe that's what my memory is. Wow, that's not bad. What
But wait a
how I
minute, does
did
it?
that.
Oh, jail interview. Wait, I see it.
Jail
Always
interview?
good.
It was right before Rocky.
It must have
And
been.
it was right
I-
after Rocky. Okay.
I was here then, but I don't remember this person.
All right. Let me
Yeah.
see here. And what time did they say?
3 hours, 19 minutes
3
in.
hours and 19 minutes.
Wow.
Wow, you are so good, creepy, that you they figured that out so quick.
I think I'm gonna mute this and
I've tried to look up things before and gave up out of frustration.
Gross.
The Harley Dilly case. Oh God, Harley Dilly bothered me so much. The chimney, he was in that chimney the whole time, right through Christmas. He was mad at his mom.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go to school. She made him go to school.
Yep.
I wish
what
I could do
happened?
what they wish I could do what
He
they do. I wish I
he
could
went to
3
go-
minutes
Ohio?
and I wish
Was
I
he
could do
in
what they do
Ohio
on the
or-
Murdaugh trial.
He
think it
was
was
in. Yes, he was in Port. He was in Ohio, right off of the
Oh, God.
beautiful place. A tourist place. What was the name of the place Harley Dilly lived? Oh, it was in Ohio.
Ohio?
Yeah, Ohio.
But I remember the town.
Any in silver?
I made a mold of each one of those. I could make those in silver, but those stones, that emerald, I bought that emerald on eBay 20 years ago.
Who did?
I got a great
Wait, who's
price, but
talking?
it's very
Phyllis.
expensive, and it's transparent. You never see, it's 11 carats.
Is there a video that goes with
Yeah,
that?
And it's got
the
a
video, it's on.
beautiful,
I don't see
beautiful
it.
green.
If you're
A
in
lot of
Zoom.
emeralds are ugly color green.
All right, I'm going on YouTube.
That one is so beautiful. The
I'm
pictures
here
are
in
too
the
close
chat.
up. They don't
I'm
do
on-
it
You see
justice.
that, Carolyn? About like
I'm
What
on
is the-
YouTube, but I don't
what
see
is
a
the
video.
video
I just
about?
see
talking
their
about
voices.
can you show
What is
her
the
how many?
video about?
There's a video
miniature
where
pottery?
she's showing
Who wants to
showing
see
some
it?
of her jewelry.
Lisa
Did
Daisy.
you,
Oh,
did you
Lisa
see the
Diaz.
Alexandrite
Video,
Royal
yeah.
Cafe
I like
House?
jewelry.
Right.
Okay,
Me too.
hang on.
If
We're
you
waiting for
read
the video.
one of my
'Cause I see
eBay
that we're
ads,
still
you'll,
on
I
eBay
tell
or
how I
something.
make
We're
each
looking
day.
at
Do you have
on
any of the
YouTube.
miniature pottery on eBay?
No, none of
Well,
them
where
are
can we
finished
see the
yet.
administrative-
Oh, I have my silver
We're
one.
looking
We
at
got 'em
Why
on
don't you
Facebook,
show us
that's
her
how we look
miniature
at 'em.
pottery, okay?
Oh, I can hold them up right now. We're
Oh,
live.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay,
Carolyn,
let's
we
do
can't
that.
see the video.
All right, go get some.
I can't
Hurry
see
up.
the video
Okay,
either.
and
Yeah,
I
let's
will
see.
Yeah.
send you.
Yes, you have your
Okay.
Hard
eBay
for me to
screen on.
move.
Oh,
Your
you're wearing
screen
snowmen.
is on a
It's
different
kind of
tab. It's
Russian.
eBay.
No, that's her screen.
Take your time.
Me,
That's
I
where
live
we
in
were.
flannel nightgowns.
Oh,
all
really?
here.
Okay.
Why
Yeah.
does it sound so
Yeah.
far away? It's so
Well,
hard to
host
hear.
was what?
And you can't hear because you're in
It said
Zoom.
host was
Oh,
very
she's
much
spotlighting. You gotta
remember
get out of
Joyce.
Zoom. The pottery, we can see it.
Oh, I see it now. I see it. I see it.
He
Yeah.
made
Take
little
your time,
teapots
Phyllis.
too,
You gotta
didn't
get out of
you?
Zoom or they're not gonna be able to hear it.
That's right.
Like you gotta
Yeah.
mute in Zoom. Take it easy.
Oh, my eye.
What?
Yeah, take it easy.
What?
Phyllis
I'm
could
not
have
Zoom
her
on.
own
It's
show.
on YouTube. It is
Oh,
on
yeah,
YouTube. We
but
all-
I
I'm on
never,
YouTube.
I only
Oh,
start
listen,
there.
let me
I'm
explain
I
not
something.
remember
finished.
this
You guys-
night. Phyllis used to make pottery teapots too.
Yeah, but you guys, I'm just gonna say something. You can't talk because they can't hear it.
Oh,
You gotta listen to it in YouTube, and I'm gonna mute myself too.
yes,
You're not a
ma'am.
finisher.
Oh, no, I didn't, Sleeping
No,
Beauty.
the starter.
I see.
Let's
Wow.
see if I can shine a light directly.
I need to look and see.
Okay, what do you want to see first? I have 1, 2,
I can only imagine what it is.
4.
Ugh, this is triggering to me
I have about 6 or
because
7.
of really
pieces
evil voices in here.
So
Sorry.
Let me,
Emily, I don't know why your head's spinning.
let me get something to put this on that you can.
Yeah, you get a light and a good light. I think you need a good light, like a flashlight or something.
Yeah,
This is actually raccoon, metal, clay, and ceramic. Let me spin it around. Oh, this doesn't do anything, just.
Yeah. Can you set it down on something and then take your camera on your phone and kind of show that?
I'm on the laptop.
Oh.
If I called you from the phone, would that?
No, because then we really wouldn't see a thing.
Well, no, the phone is real. It's a Note 10.
you mean jump? Okay, I thought you meant call us and not. You got to be on.
No,
video.
the same thing we're doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean you could try.
How would I
Yeah, that
have
would
to
be
hang this
better.
up? If I
Yeah, I'll keep it up until we make sure you can get back on.
all right, let's see.
Just mute it though, right?
Well, no, the phone is real. It's a Note 10.
Right.
Now
No,
Carolyn's
these really
like one
work.
probably.
Wait a minute, did you see the teapots? Would I have to hang this up?
somebody has their YouTube or something playing again.
All right, let me see.
Just mute it though, right?
No, the phone is real. It's a Note 10.
Hello. I'm gonna have to throw everybody off the piano. Okay. No.
Hold on. You're gonna freak out. I wish you could see better.
You could send it to me. I could see it right up close.
It was Elle. I took care of it. It's all set.
Yeah, you could send it
What'd
to
you
her
say?
house.
Send it to
you.
you.
Could send it to me, and I could see it right up close.
Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I have to jump.
And you could see
Which end?
the one that I can't.
Channel C2?
Yes,
Tina
everybody can see.
Bina, come
Everybody
back.
in
She
the
wants
channel
you to
can
see
see
this.
everything.
A spit
Tina
hood on
Bina,
you.
Everyone, can you all see? Yes, we can all
Can you
see.
see?
We can see everything.
and they want you to hold it still when you do the necklace.
I have the
They
same
want you
cart.
to
I have
hold
the
it
same
still.
cart.
Same what?
The same cart you have over there. I have the same one.
The turquoise one
Yeah.
from
mhm.
Amazon. I love it.
No, I got it at Michael's, I think, though. But yeah,
Is yours metal?
yeah.
Okay. Now I'm on long-term care. My aide just emptied my room.
We're not worried about it. We've seen messier.
You know
stuff.
what? I'm gonna pick up the laptop and put it right here. I'm gonna unplug it. I had this earlier because I wanted to start working because
Okay.
he straightened so many things up that I can see now to work.
Oh,
Except I don't know
With
where
the
he
one
put
you
it.
put a
Work
spit hood
sometime.
over him.
I don't know where he put it.
Oh my god.
All right.
So let me plug this light in.
Okay. Try to
A
find
man
out.
and a
Oh,
woman.
God.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe we can watch you work sometime, Phyllis.
Yes, I would love it if you filmed it because I would love to put. I have a couple of videos of me working on eBay, not on eBay, on Facebook. Oh, okay. see, I can't breathe.
Well,
As
take
I'm
it
walking
easy.
around.
Just relax. We've got.
Just take your
No,
time.
I'm not, it's not a psychological can't breathe. I have a breathing problem when I walk. That's why
Right.
I'm on
No, we
long-term care.
understand. Yeah, just relax. Still.
Okay, so if I do, why can't I see that
What
in
is
the
that
camera?
shiny thing with the
I'm trying
eyes?
to
Is that
show
an animal?
my
Is that-
touchpad.
Wait, can I ask? Is that an animal? The shiny thing in the drawer with the eyes? No. In that brown drawer, right in front of you. Yeah, the gray one on the end. It has eyes on it with eyelashes. It looks like.
I do put eyelashes on things, but I don't think anything in here.
Can you pan down on it? Because I swear that I saw.
I don't know what you're.
Okay.
I don't see anything. There's nothing gray in here.
Well, it looked like something gray on the end. Can you just pan it, and then you could see
Which end?
the one that I can't see. Not there. Not there. No. There. Right there. But I can't see
There's
it.
nothing right there.
No, but I can't see
The
it.
phone. Can you hold the phone?
Yeah, right
There's
there.
nothing
That
right
that thing right next to your finger with the eyelashes. That.
This?
Yes.
This is a vase.
Oh, that's a vase? Did that not look like it had eyelashes on it? And it was
For a
shiny?
second, I kind of see what you're saying.
That was
I don't
very
know.
deceiving. That was a deceiving piece.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're okay. I'll forgive you. I will forgive you.
That was a sarcastic. Sorry.
No, I know, and I will forgive you.
Oh,
It's
wow.
okay.
Look at that.
Wow.
This one isn't even. Let me show you a trick.
Okay.
Where's my? He put it. I don't know where he put it. Oh, I see.
I'd
The
fire him.
talent
Fire him.
this lady has.
Fire him.
You know? That's
Okay.
talent
Are you
right there.
watching me?
Yep.
Let me move this out of the way. Can't
Are you
believe
going
I'm
to
doing
spin
this in the
something
middle
right
of the
now
night.
on your little mini wheel?
You want to see the mini wheel?
Yeah.
This is exciting.
Oh, look
I
at
don't
that
know
little tiny
why
mini
sleeping
wheel.
beauty
Look at
actually
that.
hunted.
Let me put it down because I can't do 10 things at a time like I
Alright.
used to be able to.
Okay.
Boys and
It
girls,
looked
listen
like it, right,
closely.
Sam?
The
That's what I
water.
thought.
Okay. Oh, I want to move this so I don't wet everything in here.
That's what he said. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I wonder if she ever made cotton button.
I mean, really, look how talented this lady is, though. She
yeah, but
has
I could
on
never
studio
hold a
and
normal
everything.
job.
Well, you're an artist, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Artists
What
are
are we doing?
different.
I mean, I was
Hang on.
an actress, an astrologer, and an artist.
What is she doing now?
She's gonna.
Oh,
You
wow.
see how you
She's
can
wetting
see.
it
This
down.
is how it'll look with clear glaze. It's like a show, a tell.
Oh, wow.
You could see it much better now. Where,
Oh, that's beautiful.
Bring it
Where
down,
is the
yeah,
ca-
down a little
oh,
bit. Yeah.
can
I
you
gotta put doo-doo. It's getting late.
three
Bring it
pictures
down
of
a
you
little
guys
bit.
down? Because you're right by the camera and I can't see what I'm showing you.
Yeah, no, we can see it. Just keep it right there.
Well, no,
can see
we
it.
No,
see
I
you.
can't see it. I want to see what
Oh.
you're seeing because I can turn it certain ways to show.
Oh.
Can you move the three pictures of you, the little windows you're in from where they are?
Hold on a second.
Oh,
Yeah,
view.
there.
Let me hit view and see
There,
if
I
it
moved
changed.
them. I didn't even know I could
No,
do
they
that, but I
stayed the
did.
same. I'm on speaker view. There's a gallery view and
Oh,
a full
okay, yeah.
screen.
Can you? Is she spotlighted, Scooter?
I got it. Full
Yeah, she's
screen.
spotlighted.
Okay.
It's still blurry.
Oh, we can see it.
We can see it good.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, I have quite a few pieces. You're not going to want to.
Oh, look, that looks like a
Now I-
dog. That water. Oh, you covered it up.
Everybody's loving what they see so
Oh,
far.
now it's
What
all
do you-
done. No, with the water
No, it's
splatter.
there. I'm just putting this box on top
Right,
of
I
it.
know, but it was a dog before. Okay.
He wants a dog.
Okay. So, a regular sized teapot. You all know a regular sized teapot
Right.
would be,
Yeah,
right?
we're all familiar with that. Yeah.
I don't have one in here.
It's okay.
But
We remember it.
before I got the little wheel
Uh-huh.
on my big, you know what throwing off the hump means?
Not really.
Throwing
Yeah,
off
that's
the
what it-
hump is a method that you can make a whole bunch of little pieces with one big mound of clay. You center the whole big mound like a big mountain, and then you center like the top inch and you make little pots. So I wanted to make a little teapot. So here, now this has just been one fire with underglaze. It has a long way to go to get to this and then clear glaze. Here's one that is clear glaze, but it fogged up because it's clear matte. I don't like shiny. I find it very cheap. And clear matte is notorious for clouding up if you get it a little too thick. And because I never use commercial clear glaze, it happened to that. And it was such a cute piece. It's a second.
You like that,
Okay. So anyway, so the teapot, now my teapot, all my things are functional except for the raku pieces. Those are just decorative. I just want to show you that this really works. Pour the water in there.
Now, what will you do with that second? You said it was a second.
I'll sell it. I thought you'd give
Oh.
that away.
Okay, can you see? Wait a minute. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. No, these, not my miniatures. No, yes, there are a couple that I will give away. Okay, now stop it already. You know, the joke has gotten old. I give a lot and you'll all get shit, but stop, okay? I really like you all and I appreciate that you let me be me, but the joke is too old.
Okay.
I do give stuff.
All right. Okay. That's okay.
I give
All
away
right.
expensive things. All right, I want to just show you that the teapots really work.
Oh, wow.
They don't work great. Now, a teapot is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4 bowls.
Okay.
All cut apart and put back together.
Oh, wow.
So you have to throw at least 4 bowls, and you have to make a knob, which can be another miniature bowl, and a handle, which is thrown, and then I embellish them. So to make this teapot, this isn't a second, this is just in progress. To make this teapot, just to make the form itself, would take about 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Oh,
this is
wow,
not,
okay.
these are not molds. These are from scratch.
So you
By
don't
the way,
just
I'll-
form that handle like with your hands, like form it?
It's called pulling a handle. What you do is move. The person would understand this. You know how you milk a cow?
Right.
You take a piece of clay and you form it into a cone. And here, I'll put my hand down. And you start
pulling it
with water. You have water right next to you. Keep wetting it and pulling it, wetting it and pulling it. And it thins out, and then you flip it so that to make the curve.
I see.
And then you let it harden up to leather hard or cheese hard, and that's when you score and attach.
Okay.
So everything is a process.
All right.
Okay. Because you're right by the camera, and I can't see what you feel. On my big, you know what throwing off the hump means?
Not really.
Throwing off the hump is a method that you can make a whole bunch of little pieces with one big mound of clay. You center the whole big mound like a big mountain, and then you center like the top inch, and you make little pots. So I wanted to make a little teapot. So here. Now this has just been one fire with underglaze. It has a long way to go to get to this and then clear glaze. Here's one that is clear glaze, but it fogged up because it's clear matte. I don't like shiny. I find it very cheap. And clear matte is notorious for clouding up if you get it a little too thick. And because I never use commercial clear glaze, it happened to that. And it was such a cute piece. It's a second.
You like that, okay?
So anyway, so the teapot, now my teapot, all my things are functional except for the raku pieces. Those are just decorative. I just want to show you that this really works. Pour the water in there.
Now, what will you do with that second? You said it was a second.
I'll sell it. I thought you'd give that away.
Okay, can you see? Wait a minute. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. No, these, not my miniatures. No, yes, there are a couple that I will give away. Okay, now stop it already. You know, the joke has gotten old. I give a lot, and you'll all get shit, but stop, okay? I really like you all, and I appreciate that you let me be me, but the joke is too old.
Okay.
I do give stuff.
All right. Okay. That's okay.
I give
All
away
right.
expensive things.
I'll cut to the chase. She gave us nothing, neither inexpensive or expensive. Nobody got anything. And she was given the name of a rambler who then helped her for hours and hours and hours trying to get her website or something up.
She's screaming.
And I don't think she ever paid the person or did anything with the person. I think the person just got, not that they even wanted to be paid, but she was, I believe, very demanding of the person. I could go back in the emails, and that person got away from this person.
Rewind it a little
So-
because she starts screaming.
Wait, that's it, wasn't it?
No, I think she just went off like a second ago and started screaming. Just
When she
Rewind.
said, yeah, when she
Yeah,
just,
that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we heard it.
uh-huh.
oh
I
wow.
wonder if Phyllis is still with us.
I don't know, Lee and Linda.
I remember her. Lived in Florida, right?
Yeah. I don't know, Jeanette. I don't know, except it was to kind of put a damper on the rest of the,
Like you probably didn't want to even have fun or joke around or even.
No,
she
it was
very
like-
mad.
No, she didn't want to joke around. She had somebody in her house that was, moving things around and throwing things out. It's what happens at the end of your life.
well, wait, at the end of her life, we don't know if it's the end of her life, Linda. She could still be fine.
I don't know. I don't think
She was
so.
fine back then. She seemed fine, right?
How do you even know? She might be 56 years old.
She had COPD and a lot of problems.
Hi, Jeanette.
Boy, she was a piece of work.
Yeah. A very talented artist. Gave a lot to her community.
Yeah, she left us. Yeah.
Yeah, bubble wrap. All right. It's just you two left?
No, there's a whole chat left.
I don't know why she got it so
Scooter, I'll
upset
find one
though.
for you too.
You know.
Yeah, she told us she was going to give
okay.
us that. Never happened.
And
Yeah, I know.
remember, I'm kind of known, so
She's kinda
it'll
known.
be like a collector's item.
Right. I mean, is there a marking on it that they know you made it?
Oh, I hardly ever sign my stuff. I just never remember, and my ego isn't involved in this.
Uh-huh.
If people, guess what? I'm really sensitive. If somebody doesn't like me, it hurts.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't like my work, I don't care because I like it. I do it for myself. And it's so weird because I get hurt so easily, but I could care less about my work.
Oh, wow.
So I don't understand that because it's not like me
Look at her hand. She's not that old.
at all. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, very weird.
Yeah.
No, she did. She told us it wasn't funny and just like how to stop. And
Well, I only got like in my whole life on my artwork, I only got like somebody saw the dolphin while I was doing it, a guy, and he said, "Oh, I really don't like that." And I went, okay, but I'm sort of amazed because I don't know how anyone could not
It
like
was-
it.
I guess it was a joke
maybe
that
it's not
they
your
asked her if she was
style. Maybe
giving
it's a
something
little
away.
busy, but not to. Well,
She
it
said
didn't
something
bother
was a
me. I
second.
think I chuckled when
Then
he
she
said. He
went
said it
nuts.
right to my face too. And I wasn't even asking him what he thought.
Yeah.
So
Well, people like different things, right? Some people like those abstracts, and some people think they like child's
Yeah.
play. Like a
Yeah.
kid did it. So I mean, it's beauty's in the eye of the beholder. What happened? What the freak just happened? What was that, Scooter?
I don't know.
That was really.
What was it?
I don't know. She said something, and then everything. She's gone. Okay, so we will Move that along. Get rid of that now. I was getting PTSD from other things in there. Yucks.
I know you were. Let's shut it off.
Okay.
Now we
Stuff
can
is
talk about
beautiful.
Leticia.
I miss her already. But don't let Linda make you think she's not in this world anymore. We probably can find out what her name was and look her up, and she's probably going strong.
She's probably fine. Yeah, we don't know that anything's happened.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a lighthearted moment. So let's take another poll on what we should do next. I could never rewatch that again, so it really wasn't. It was a little bit shocking at the time, but since we've been through so much other stuff, it doesn't seem as shocking as
Some of the other stuff that you've
some of
been
the other
through.
stuff that we've been through. So, yeah, okay.
You've never heard from her after this? Then Eva's asking. Eva's here. Hi, Eva.
Hi, Eva. I don't think so. No, never got anything. She told me she was sending me something and never did.
No.
And I heard from the woman that was helping her that I think was exasperated
It was overwhelming, and the person that was helping that person.
I have to revisit the whole thing, but it just wasn't. I don't know. Let me see. Hillbilly got really upset in here too, just a little while ago.
He got what?
Really upset in here.
Why?
He said that he couldn't hear anything, and because everybody on the panel was talking, and said, "Mute everybody on the panel. It's chaotic."
We did, Hillbilly. It was L's. I'm not blaming L,
No,
but I'm not.
No, it was before L. L came.
that was for 2 seconds.
I know, but I think there was somebody else that wasn't on mute
There was a
before
bunch
that.
of people at the time that were trying to
And
talk,
I was
then
trying to figure out who it was, and I couldn't.
Hillbilly, come back.
Hillbilly, we're so sorry.
Oh my
Aw.
gosh.
We message him. Hillbilly, we really apologize. for the
Eva, what happened to Eva's green?
What do you mean?
Eva's always green.
K-A-I-T-A.
Eva, what happened to your greenness?
Wait, Eva? I don't know. I don't think she
Is
was
that the real
ever-
Eva?
Yeah, that's the real Eva. That's her
Eva, is that the
picture.
real you?
Okay, what should we do? What's Leticia Stauch?
We
Stauch,
have to
Stauch.
talk about her. That's the case that we talked about earlier, that we brought up when we were in members. Because if you remember, we all know we have the 24-hour Zooms, right? And we talk about cases.
Right? What
Oh,
is
because-
play
That's-
AITA? Oh,
MIVA.
The MIVA.
how about go over Leticia Stauch? How do we?
Well, you got to vote on it, and then we'll.
Oh, and the
Looks like it's gonna
winning
win.
is so far is the Leticia Stauch. It's Stauch, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And Deborah says yes, that is Eva Poole, our Eva. I would
Bye,
like.
LMNW.
I need
Good
to
night,
find a
LMNW.
snack.
Let me see.
Yeah, did you see the dog? I saw the dog that she made with the water spa, and she put the thing right over it. That
I know, and
Phyllis lady.
and I think I asked her about a tiny kiln too, and I thought that was what set her off, but it wasn't.
There was a little dog on the water spot. Oh, she got a membership from Whisper, but it is over now.
From Whisper.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
No, it must have been from Rototilla Calf. But she always had a membership.
Oh.
I could swear she always did. Okay. So I guess it's going to be Leticia Stauch, and we're going to go over the arrest affidavit. Because
Okay.
that tells us a lot about the case.
Okay.
Or maybe we'll look at the interview too. What she did with the police. I mean, did with the media. No. I don't want this thing on the,
I think maybe her name was Trachtenberg.
hmm?
Trachtenberg. Phyllis Trachtenberg.
I don't know.
All right.
Why can't I get this? Hold on. I don't want this thing like this at all. I don't like that thing on the side.
Hi, high speed.
Okay. Okay, so let's get over. Anyone? Try to get, let me put a picture. Images. Here we go. Grab this, go over here.
Oh my gosh!
What?
Kevin's gifting memberships. Kevin's gifting memberships in
Kevin's
the.
Aw.
How come I don't hear
Kevin?
the sound of it?
Aw, Kevin.
Oh my
You're so
gosh, that was really
Thank
nice.
you, Kevin.
Yeah.
If you didn't have Eva, make sure you accept it, and whoever else is there that needs a membership, make sure you accept it.
Oh, how nice is that?
Every-
That you have your
who-
gifting turned on.
Kevin's so nice.
Yeah,
Yes, he
you have to
is.
have your. That is awesome.
Oh, you gifted 10? Thank you, Kevin. You didn't have to do that.
Kevin.
You shouldn't have done that, but that's nice.
And there might be. We'll see.
Eva, make
Amanda
sure
wants-
you go up to that thing and accept the gift, Eva.
Eva, go up at the top and accept it. Come on, guys.
Thank you, Kevin.
Aw.
LMN, French fry, high 61. What's in a name?
High 61 got one?
High 61 got one, and Heidi
come I don't see
Martinez.
them?
Where's the Lure? Finding Joy, Liza Ward, Winston Sayer,
Liza
and
Ward.
Tammy Flo. Yes.
Kevin, you're so nice.
I thought Liza Ward had one, didn't she?
Such a good guy.
She did. Liza Ward was just in here talking. She said, hi, everybody. That was earlier.
Wow.
Tammy Flo, Winston Sayer. Finding Joy.
It's really cool. I need to go I can gift them on my computer,
That's totally cool.
but I can't on my phone.
YouTube picks them, yeah.
How much is a membership?
Depends on which level.
Which depends on which level, yeah.
The little level.
$1.99.
Well, full is $1.99, and it goes up from there.
How much is the big one?
Depends
I
on which
don't-
big one. There's a few of them.
How much?
There's a few of them. They go up. I think it goes down $99, $4.99, $9.99, and there's one
$19.99.
$14.99,
Oh.
maybe $14.99. Okay,
Yep.
let me see now. I'm trying to get this. I want to just get this affidavit without having the. Did I close the poll out? I think I did. Okay.
And it goes by how long they last, right?
No, they all last the same amount of time.
Oh.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Little I know.
Okay, so open. Let's see. So this is. Oh my goodness. Hold on 1 second. Where is my. U.S. Court, State of Colorado. Okay, I've got it here. All right. Let's see. This is the affidavit of probable cause first. And then we have something else after this. Let me get this over there. And then I have to get the other attachments. Oh my goodness. Gosh, Jimmy's making so much noise. It's like he's moving furniture. All right. I know I have her affidavit on this computer. Okay, so let me just. Is this you? Yes. So, original. Hang on. Here's what I want. Oh my gosh. So annoying. Okay. All right. So this one was, let's see. This is February that I have 28th. And this one was 6/1/2020. All right. So we're not going to go on that one first. We're going to go on this one first. Let's pull this one over first. The following affidavit is submitted to the court, the probable cause in support of a request for the issuance of an arrest warrant for Leticia Stauch, date of birth August 4th, 1983.
That's my birthday.
It is? Oh gosh.
August 4th.
You know, a lot of times these crimes happen on our birthdays. That's so funny. The offense is fully documented in El Paso County Sheriff's Office offense report detailing the offenses listed below in paragraph 2. With the victim identified as Gannon Stauch, birth date 9/29/2008, white male. Your affiant is Jessica Bethel, a duly sworn and state certified police officer and detective with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, who has been employed as such since 2010. Okay. Your affiant has participated in other law enforcement investigations, including homicide investigations, child abuse, weapons violations, assaults, and other violations of Colorado revised statutes. I'm familiar with social media networks and electronic methods of communication, and I have attended a 1-week crime scene analysis course through the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. I have also relied on other investigators from outside agencies with more investigative training and experience, including but not limited to the FBI, the Special Agent Andrew Cohen, and that's funny, Special Agent Andy Cohen, and FBI Special Agent David Donati. Your affiant submits the following facts to demonstrate probable cause to believe that on or about January 27, 2020, in the county of El Paso in the state of Colorado, the defendant Leticia Stauch, also known as Leticia Harden, did commit the following offenses, hereinafter referred to as the violations: murder in the first degree of a child under 12 in a position of trust, child abuse resulting in death, tampering with a deceased human body, tampering with physical evidence. This affidavit is being submitted to support the issuance for an arrest warrant for the violations. The facts in this affidavit come from my personal observations, my training and experience, and information obtained from other agents, law enforcement officials, and witnesses. The contents of this affidavit was derived by reading reports, viewing evidence, and as provided to me by the EPSO investigators and special agents of the FBI. Much of this affidavit was prepared by FBI Special Agent Cohen, but I have reviewed the below facts carefully, and I have no reason to doubt any investigator's accuracy or truthfulness in their report. This affidavit is intended to show merely that there is sufficient probable cause for the requested warrant and does not set forth all of my knowledge about this matter. In summary, and as will be set forth, probable cause exists to issue an arrest warrant for Leticia Stauch for the violations. The vast array of investigative techniques in this investigation have produced a voluminous amount of evidence in support of the requested warrant. Investigators have executed physical search warrants and collected evidence from vehicles associated with Leticia, cellular devices utilized by Leticia, and from the residence of Leticia. Electronic search warrants have been executed to entities including but not limited to Facebook, Apple Inc., Google Inc., AT&T Wireless, Verizon Wireless, ADT Security Systems, Tile, Life, 360, Yahoo, and Ring Doorbell Service. Some of the physical evidence has been examined by a laboratory for DNA profiles. Investigators also recovered a significant amount of exterior video footage from individual privately owned security cameras, businesses around Colorado Springs, Colorado, and cameras in other surrounding areas. Some cameras provided recorded video footage of exterior of the Stauch residence. Historical cell records and historical cell site details were analyzed, and that's redacted. Some, but not all, of the available photos and other evidence collected from the aforementioned search warrants and other investigative steps are included below and are not meant to represent all the evidence available. Furthermore, there has been no intentional exclusion of photos that could be deemed exculpatory in nature. The information contained in this affidavit can be found in the EPSO case report number 20-1382, Facts in Support of Probable Cause. The Stauch family is a blended family, and all will be discussed at various points below. This representation purposely has little details in order to give an overview of the family structure. The father of the family is Eugene Al Stauch. The stepmother is Leticia Stauch. Daughter Harley Hunt is a minor, 17 years of age, and she is related by blood to Leticia, but not to Al. Son Gannon Stauch, minor, 11 years of age, related by blood to Al, but not to Leticia. Daughter Lena Stauch, minor, 8, related by blood to Al, not Leticia. Okay, so Al came in with 2 kids, Gannon and Lena, and Leticia came in with 1 daughter, Harley. Following vehicles will be discussed at various points. A red Nissan Frontier, which is Mr. Al Stauch's vehicle. A black Volkswagen Tiguan, that's Leticia's main vehicle. A white Volkswagen Jetta, that's Harley, the daughter, 17-year-old's main vehicle. A silver Nissan Altima, that was the rental car that was obtained by Leticia's aunt, Brenda, acquired and utilized by Leticia from January 30th to February 1st after her Tiguan was seized by the El Paso County Sheriff's Office on January 29th, 2020. And then a white Kia Rio, which is a rental car that was obtained and utilized by Leticia on January 28th and 29th of 2020. Leticia, date of birth 8/4/1983, is the last person known to investigators to see 11-year-old Gannon Stauch, date of birth 9/29/2008, alive. Leticia is Gannon's stepmother and was Gannon's only known adult supervision in the days preceding and on the day of his murder. At the time of Gannon's murder, Leticia was employed by a school district, School District 20, as an assistant teacher, although I have learned that she is no longer employed there. I was able to locate prior criminal history for Leticia and learned that in North Carolina, Robeson County court case 2001 CRSO 11193, Leticia was convicted after trial for communicating threats, a misdemeanor. But I was not able to locate her sentencing information. Leticia was also convicted of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle in Robeson County Court and was sentenced to 45 days confinement and 18 months of probation. Although not criminal in nature, I was able to locate a document memorializing the suspension of Leticia's North Carolina teaching certificate, number 261777, on or about May 11th of 2016. As part of that document, it is reported that Leticia had filed unsubstantiated claims of harassment and retaliation, and the North Carolina State Board found that Ms. Stauch breached her contract by engaging in unprofessional conduct, willfully neglecting her duty, and failing to comply with the provisions of her contract. Leticia's criminal history is only included by way of background for the court because Leticia has been convicted of previous crimes. It is not meant to indicate guilt of the violations or to be considered as the sole basis of probable cause for the requested warrant. Eugene Albert Stauch, aka Al Stauch, date of birth 9/20/1982, is Gannon's biological father and is married to Leticia Stauch. Mr. Stauch was deployed with the National Guard during the dates of January 25th, 2020 to January 28th, 2020. And Mr. Stauch spent the night in Denver on January 25th, 2020 and departed via commercial airline on January 26, 2020 and returned via commercial airline on January 28, 2020. Investigators were able to corroborate this information, and Mr. Stauch has cooperated fully in the below investigation. Of note, and in some portions of this affidavit, depending on the date of events being discussed, the investigation may be referred to as a missing persons investigation or a murder investigation. For the purposes of this affidavit, they are indeed one and the same. The subsequent information primarily surrounds the period of Monday, January 27th, 2020 to Wednesday, January 29th, 2020. Investigators have taken independent steps to corroborate information received through the investigation and in most circumstances have video footage, cellular communication and location records, security system records, or other records to support the below claims. This summary section is meant to give the court an overview of the investigation, and the facts supporting this summary will be articulated below. On January 27, 2020, at about 18:55 hours, Leticia Stauch reported Gannon Stauch missing after calling 911. During that call, she was instructed to call the El Paso County non-emergency line. In summary, Leticia stated Gannon was supposed to be home at approximately 1 hour ago and she was unable to locate him at a friend's house. Her story dramatically changed multiple times over the following days. As will be discussed below, investigators do not believe Leticia went to any neighboring houses to attempt to locate Gannon, and was one of the many lies told by Leticia during the investigation. Leticia was unable to provide the actual location of the homes that she went to, the names of Gannon's friends he was supposed to be playing with, or the names of the parents of Gannon's friends. Deputies responded to Leticia's residence at 6627 Mandan Drive, Colorado Springs, Colorado, and they were unable to locate Gannon. Deputies conducted a limited search of the residence, and they took a report from Leticia. Some of the interactions between the responding deputies and Leticia were captured on body-worn camera. A missing persons investigation was initiated, and in the days developed into a murder investigation. A tip line was established, and investigators received hundreds of tips and leads from the public by virtue of emails and telephone calls. As part of this tip line, 2 ransom notes were received by email demanding money in the form of Bitcoin in exchange for Gannon's return. Investigators took steps to validate these ransom notes, including resolving and geolocating the Internet Protocol IP addresses from the email headers and requesting subscriber information from the Internet Service Providers, ISPs, that hosted those IP addresses. One of these ransom notes was from a foreign-based email account that is accessible by multiple individuals. Investigators were unable to trace the user of these IP addresses and believe the ransom notes to be fraudulent and strictly designed as a scheme to receive money. Leticia initially claimed that she last saw Gannon on the 27th of January 2020 when he left their residence to play with friends somewhere around 15 hours. Based on the facts outlined below, Leticia's statement to the EPSO dispatcher, Leticia is the last person that ever saw Gannon alive. Leticia stated she attempted to find him at a neighbor's house and sent her daughter, Harley Hunt, to look for him at a park. Leticia lied to investigators on multiple occasions, has unexplained abnormal behavior such as obtaining a rental car, disconnecting her cell phone from her cellular network for an extended period of time, the false reporting of an alleged rape, abnormal patterns of travel, and continuously evolving story with material, changes in facts and circumstances, and has since left the state of Colorado. These actions, when combined with other facts in this affidavit, support the totality of probable cause for the requested warrant and will be discussed below. The following section will outline what investigators have learned about Leticia's activity on January 27, 2020, and outline the period when Gannon was likely murdered. Some of the information contained in this section will be repeated in other portions of the affidavit or discussed later in more detail. Additionally, there are evidence sources that are mentioned here but not fully defined in other sections. Investigators believe that Gannon was murdered by Leticia Stauch in the afternoon hours after 1440 hours on January 27, 2020, at his residence and more specifically in his bedroom. Physical evidence recovered from the residence and inside Gannon's bedroom supports that a violent event occurred in his bedroom, which caused bloodshed, including blood spatter on the walls and enough blood loss to stain his mattress, soak through the carpet pad, and stain the concrete below the bed. Some photographs of this evidence are included below. Based on evidence recovered from the residence, Gannon's remains were eventually brought through the house into the garage and likely loaded into the back of Leticia's Volkswagen Tiguan. After cleaning the murder scene, Leticia utilized the Tiguan to transport and dump Gannon's remains on the evening of January 28, 2020. Leticia likely disposed of his remains off of Highway 105 South Perry Park Road in Douglas County, Colorado. Indeed, the Metro Crime Laboratory determined that blood discovered in Gannon's bedroom, the Stauch garage, and blood on the piece of particle board located off of Highway 105 South Perry Park Road all match his DNA profile. On Monday, January 27, 2020, Gannon Stauch stayed home from school. Based on text messages from Leticia to Al Stauch, Gannon was up most of Sunday evening with a stomach problem. Leticia did tell Gannon's school, Grand Mountain Elementary, that Gannon would be absent on Monday. Investigators were able to verify that Gannon was marked as an excused absence that day. Leticia also told Al that, "I'm just going to give them an excuse at work and stay with him." Indeed, Leticia did come up with an excuse, and she told her employer via text message at or about 4:37 that morning that her stepdad was killed after being hit by a car, and she would not be able to come to work that day. That's the first thing. I mean, that is Such a crazy excuse that is the first tip off. She's not okay. That her stepdad was killed after being hit by a car. Other electronic evidence, such as time and date, stamped photographs, and videos, were recovered from Leticia's cell phone that indicate Gannon was likely still alive during the morning of January 27, 2020. As displayed in paragraph 54 below, images were taken of Leticia's cell phone at or about 8:13 and 8:17 in the morning of January 27, 2020 that showed Gannon sleeping in his bed. Of particular note, his Nintendo Switch, a small video game console, is visible in the photo lying next to him in the bed. Mr. Stauch has said that this gaming system was of high importance to Gannon. To date, investigators have been unable to locate the Nintendo Switch. It should also be noted that Leticia used her phone the following day, January 28, 2020, on or about 12:57 hours to conduct a Google search. Can Nintendo find my Switch? This is also detailed in a list of some of her search history in paragraph 141 and reasonably occurred because she was contemplating how she would dispose of that Switch. I conducted a Google search for the term, "Can Nintendo find my Switch?" and learned that the Switch does not come with any sort of tracking ability. As such, Leticia likely felt it was safe to dispose of the Switch. I don't think she disposed of it. I think she sold it. And used the missing Switch to help deceive law enforcement into searching for Gannon as a possible runaway. Ultimately, investigators located video surveillance from a neighbor's surveillance camera that showed what investigators believed to be Leticia and an individual that appeared to match Gannon's physical description depart their residence in the Nissan Frontier at about 10:16 on January 26, 2020. The video camera is several homes away and does not provide images clear enough to make positive identifications of those captured in the recording. The vehicle returned at about 14:19 hours and Leticia exited the vehicle. After viewing the video, I cannot be sure if another person exited the vehicle or not, but I submit Gannon likely did return home with Leticia that afternoon. These times, corroborated by data collected from an ADT security system installed in the Stauch residence, are discussed below in more detail. Based on data returned from the Stauch ADT security system, the motion detectors in the living room or basement did not register any activity from approximately 10:12 until Leticia and Gannon enter the home again at 14:22 hours. Investigators confirmed Lena to be at school and confirmed that Harley was at work. As such, investigators believe that there was likely nobody else in the residence except Leticia and Gannon. Leticia's historical cell site information detailed information about her iPhone status and text messages sent to Harley from Gannon's cell phone, and they support that Leticia left her cell phone at the Stauch residence the morning of January 27, 2020. The fact that Leticia left her phone at home is suspicious on its own, based on her history of extensive use of the phone. I have reviewed forensic search records from Leticia's phone and found she's an active user of social media, including but not limited to Facebook and Instagram. A more detailed review of Leticia's iPhone screen time log between January 25, 2020 at 8 and January 29, 2020 at 11 revealed that Leticia spent approximately 38,607 seconds on Facebook and Facebook Messenger alone, which equates to 10.7 hours of cumulative time over those few days. Leticia's telephone was locked at 9:56 hours on January 27, 2020, and it was unlocked at 14:45 hours on the same day. The timing of the unlocking of the device is significant as compared to her departure and arrival to and from the residence, and should be noted by the court. Particularly, Leticia did not open her phone for approximately 30 minutes after she arrived back to the residence. On January 27, 2020, there was a message sent from Gannon's phone to Harley's phone that reads, Tisha left phone at home. If you need her, text me. This message was sent at or about 10:37. Investigators were able to confirm, based on video surveillance footage and purchase receipts, that Leticia traveled to Petco, located at 5020 North Nevada Avenue, Colorado Springs, Colorado. This Petco is approximately 22 miles from the house and is approximately a 30-minute drive based on Google Map directions. The receipt shows that Leticia completed her purchase about 11:22 hours. Gannon is not visible on any of the surveillance video obtained at Petco. Leticia's whereabouts are unknown between 11:22 and 13:22. At 13:22, Leticia was again captured on video surveillance making a second purchase at the same Petco on North Nevada Avenue. Mr. Stauch sent a text message to Gannon's cell phone at approximately 12:06 hours that read, "Hey, buddy." This message was not answered until 13:21, and the response was, "Can I play Zelda at least?" Mr. Stauch replied, "Not today." A significant event occurred on Gannon's phone at or about 13:43 hours, which is prior to arriving back at the Stauch residence. There was an internet search for, "Can my parent find my cell phone if it's off?" I submit that the internet search was likely conducted by Leticia on Gannon's phone, and not Gannon himself, based on the content of the search, the way the search terms are phrased, and the presence of a quotation marks in between phone and if. This is very similar to the way Leticia conducted searches on her phone. However, I located other internet searches with quotation marks in Gannon's search history, which I also reasonably believe were conducted by Leticia. A more detailed explanation of Leticia's search history is included below in paragraph 141. Furthermore, the search term was parent, singular. I submit it is reasonable that Mr. Stauch only, not Leticia, would be interested in the location of Gannon's phone, and that Leticia was possibly deliberating on how or if she would dispose of Gannon's phone after she murdered him. I conducted the Google search of "Can my parent find my cell phone if it's off?" and learned that the first answer returned in the search engine reads, "The answer to your question depends on what method is being used to track your location." Gannon's phone was found at the residence. I submit that Leticia did not get rid of Gannon's phone for fear it might be traceable. The Nissan Frontier returned to the Stauch residence at or about 14:20 hours. A search warrant authorized by the court was executed on that Nissan Frontier, and it found no indications of blood inside the vehicle. Leticia had been without her cell phone for hours, yet her screen was not unlocked until approximately 14:45 hours, which was 25 minutes after she arrived back at the residence. During the 25-minute period, there is motion activity both upstairs and downstairs on ADT records. Lena returned home from school around 15:15 hours. During a recorded forensic interview with investigators, Lena stated that when she returned home, Leticia told her Gannon was asleep in his bed and that she could not see him. Leticia told Lena to go outside and play. I submit that Lena was sent outside because Gannon was likely dead, and Leticia was cleaning up blood from inside the house. At or about 15:55 hours, Mr. Stauch sent another message to Gannon's phone. "Hey, buddy." The message was not read until 1940 hours. It is likely that Gannon was already murdered by Leticia at the time that Mr. Stauch sent that message. Based on exterior video footage, Harley arrived at the residence in her white VW Jetta at about 16:42 hours and picked up Lena. At about 16:52 hours on January 27, 2020, Leticia sent a text message to Harley requesting carpet cleaner, trash bags, and baking soda. These items were likely used to clean up the murder scene. Harley purchased these items, and investigators located a receipt documenting the purchase. Harley Hunt has refused to speak with investigators. Investigators do not believe that Harley was present when Gannon was killed. Harley was at work on January 27, 2020, from 8:30 to 16:15 hours, and investigators were able to verify this with her employer. To be clear, investigators have not located any evidence that any person other than Lena and Leticia had access to Gannon between approximately 10 and 17:34 hours on January 27, 2020. Your affiant has reviewed body-worn camera footage and reports obtained from a deputy that responded to 6627 Mandan Drive, the residence of the Stauch family. After responding, Leticia provided verbal consent for deputies to search the house for Gannon. By the way of timeline, EPSO patrol responded at about 22:09 hours, approximately 3 hours after Leticia initially called 911. From the BWC, I learned the Volkswagen Tiguan, known to be leased and utilized by Leticia, was backed into the garage when EPSO was at the residence. The position of the Tiguan in the garage is significant, specifically because of the confirmed presence of Gannon's blood in the garage below the area where the hatch of the Tiguan would be, and the positive reaction of the Blue Star reagent, indicating likely presence of blood on the Tiguan's rear bumper. Responding deputies also searched in Gannon's basement bedroom, and I have viewed images of Gannon's bedroom taken from the BWC. Below I have included a BWC image of Gannon's bedroom on the left. On the right, an image recovered from Leticia's cell phone after executing a search warrant was applied for and granted by the court. These images represent the condition of Gannon's bedroom on January 27, 2020 at about 8:13 hours, or just after 2200 hours. The photo comparison is significant for many reasons, and the corner of the bedroom where Gannon's head is visible is a key area discussed in several sections. See the right image below, taken at 8:13 hours. The placement of Gannon's bed is in the immediate location where the blood, based on DNA profile results, was found on the wall, the carpet, and on the concrete below the carpet. The details are discussed below, and a large volume of blood appears to have been in that area. For the purposes of comparison between the images, it appears that although the sheet may or may not be the same, the blankets are different. The pillowcase, if not the whole pillow, is different. I submit that a logical explanation for the missing bedding is that they likely were saturated in blood after Gannon's murder and were removed by Leticia to clean up the murder scene. Furthermore, investigators were unable to locate the bedding in the Stauch residence during any of the approximate 5 searches of the residence. Another photo was recovered from Leticia's cell phone and shows the bed was not pushed directly against the wall by the head of the bed. The photo articulates the ability for blood to get onto the walls and the floor in the corner of the bedroom. Mr. Stauch stated the positioning of the bed is unusual and the bed is usually pushed against the wall. Mr. Stauch spent the night in Denver on January 25, 2020, and he flew out of Denver International Airport on January 26, 2020. Investigators were able to cooperate. He traveled to Dallas, Texas, and ultimately to Oklahoma based on his flight records. On the morning of January 28th, Leticia rented a 2019 Kia Rio from an Avis rent-a-car in Colorado Springs. Leticia picked Mr. Stauch up at the Colorado Springs airport at or about 8:50 hours on January 28th, 2020. Shortly after, Leticia rented the vehicle. Leticia and Mr. Stauch drove back to the residence from the airport in the rented Kia. The timing of the rental of the Kia is suspicious, and combined with forensic evidence later obtained from the Tiguan and discussed below, tends to place additional importance on why Leticia felt compelled to rent a vehicle that morning. Investigators located no evidence that the Tiguan was not mechanically functioning or noted any reason why it could not have been physically driven. In fact, the Tiguan remained parked in the Colorado Springs Airport short-term parking for lot until approximately 1900 hours on January 28, 2020. Leticia provided statements to her husband, Albert Stauch, that she was concerned about putting mileage on her Tiguan lease, which justified the vehicle rental. It is noted, however, that during the time of the Kia rental, Leticia only put about 71 miles on the vehicle. During the time period Leticia had the Kia, she would not provide the location of the Tiguan, and Mr. Stauch never saw the Tiguan. For example, she told Mr. Stauch that the Tiguan was near French Elementary School. Between investigators and Mr. Stauch, a limited search for the Tiguan was conducted and produced negative results. Investigators later learned that she left the vehicle in the short-term parking lot of the Colorado Springs Airport, but removed the vehicle at one point on or about January 28, 2020 at 1900 hours. The Kia Rio was returned on the following morning, January 29, 2020. I submit Leticia could not pick up her husband in the Volkswagen Tiguan because it likely would have revealed evidence of Gannon's murder, including blood or the actual remains of Gannon himself. Investigators applied for and were granted by this court a search warrant for the 2019 Kia Rio that was rented by Leticia Stauch. The vehicle was located at the rental car company at Colorado Springs Airport and had not been rented to another customer in between the time Leticia dropped the vehicle off and when investigators seized it. Investigators did take a swab from a stain that was confirmed to be blood in the trunk of that Kia Rio and submitted it to the Metro Crime Laboratory for analysis. A DNA profile was developed and determined it was a mixture of two contributors, one of which was male, and the major male profile did not match Gannon Stauch. I submit that because the Kia Rio is a rental car, it has likely been utilized by a large number of people, and the blood in the trunk may or may not have been related to the investigation, and investigations have not been able to determine the likely age of that blood and have not matched it to any known DNA profiles associated with this case. Investigators noted that the Kia had a significant amount of mud under the vehicle, but this did not provide any successful investigative leads in looking for Gannon's remains. Investigators collected the air filter of the vehicle and attempted to identify particles that might be useful to identify where this vehicle might have been. Investigators were unable to recover any GPS data or location history for that Kia Rio. The Volkswagen Tiguan is important to investigators because they believe the Tiguan was used to transport the remains of Gannon Stauch from the Stauch residence to the location where Gannon's body was dumped. The definitive locations of the Tiguan are unknown to investigators during the time period of approximately 1902 hours on January 28th to approximately 1200 hours on January 29th. Investigators believe Leticia dumped Gannon's remains on the evening of January 28th and utilized the Tiguan to do so. The Tiguan was seized from Leticia on January 29th, 2020. Leticia had a scheduled interview with investigators on January 29th, 2020 at the El Paso Sheriff's Office, located in downtown Colorado Springs, Colorado. When she arrived at or about 12, she was driving the Volkswagen Tiguan. Investigators noted that the vehicle was wet and appeared to have been recently cleaned. I submit that Leticia had to clean the vehicle because there was likely visible blood on the rear end based on the below luminal reactions. Indeed, video footage was recovered that shows a partial view of a car wash located at East Platte Avenue, Bonfoy Avenue in Colorado Springs, and the video captured a portion of a black SUV consistent with the VW Tiguan at or about 11:30 on January 29th at the car wash. The time and location are consistent with raw data obtained from the Tiguan's computer system, described in more detail beginning in paragraph 152. Investigators applied for and were granted a search warrant of the Tiguan, which was seized from Leticia at her interview. They towed it to the EPSO evidence facility on or about February 1st, 2020. The FBI evidence response team conducted a search of the Volkswagen Tiguan. In summary, the forensic portion of the search revealed possible traces of blood from the rear of the vehicle, a rear passenger seat, front passenger seat, and an area near the glove box based on luminol forensic latent bloodstain reagent tests. Swabs from the trunk area were sent to the Metro Crime Laboratory for further analysis. Those results revealed that a DNA profile could not be developed and that the swab from the trunk was negative for the presumptive presence of blood. To be clear, luminol is a chemical used to detect trace amounts of blood at crime scenes, and although I do not have a chemical or biology background, I learned that luminol reacts with iron in hemoglobin found in blood. When applied, luminol emits a blue glow when a reaction occurs. I also am aware that there are things other than blood that can cause this reaction, such as chemicals, and I do not submit that just because luminol reacted with a substance that the substance must be blood, and only that there is a strong probability of suspected blood. The positive reaction of luminol is meant to be combined with other facts in this affidavit in support of probable cause. Several areas of the Tiguan reacted to luminol, as mentioned in paragraph 68. Specifically, the search team found evidence of suspected blood on the rear bumper and the step plate of the rear bumper. The location of the blood is significant because the vehicle was backed into the garage at Leticia's residence the day Gannon was murdered. The search of the residence is discussed below, but it is noted that evidence of Gannon's blood based on DNA profile was also located on the floor of the garage, consistent with where the rear end of the Tiguan would have been. A photo is included below to demonstrate the reaction of the luminol reagent to the likely presence of blood. Particularly, the position of the reaction leads investigators to believe that blood was likely in contact with the rear bumper of the Tiguan, and most reasonably while loading Gannon's remains in the trunk. Swabs from the exterior bumper have also been submitted to the Metro Crime Laboratory, but these results have not yet returned. However, the Metro Crime Laboratory did return a result from the trunk of the Tiguan that was negative for the presumptive presence of blood. With the Tiguan, a receipt from a dollar store was located, timestamped January 27, 2020, 1740 hours, and documented the purchase of trash bags, baking soda, vinegar, and the items listed in paragraph 74. Investigators believe that Harley purchased these items at the direction of Leticia based on the following text message sent from Leticia's cell phone to Harley's cell phone on January 27, 2020 at 16:52 hours. Leticia, carpet powder, 2 things, baking soda, trash bags. Also included in this dollar store purchase was baby oil, baby lotion, cotton rounds, and bubble gum. Investigators do not believe these other items were involved in the cleaning of the murder scene and likely have no investigative value at this point. I know from personal experience that baking soda and vinegar are common household items that can be used to clean blood. Additionally, I conducted open source internet searches that revealed vinegar is one of the most common items used to clean blood stains, and that when baking soda is applied to blood stains prior to vinegar, it has an efficient effect in removing blood stains. While the purchase of items such as vinegar and baking soda are common, and in no sense illegal, on their own, The timing of the purchase of these items and Gannon's suspected murder are beyond coincidental. After also located was a parking receipt for the Colorado Springs airport that documented that the Tiguan was brought into the airport short-term parking lot at or about 8:30 hours and left the lot at about 19:02 hours, both on January 28th, 2020. On January 29th, 2020, Leticia returned the Kia at approximately 9 o'clock, and she was picked up by someone driving a white Jetta. Investigators were unable to confirm that Harley was driving the white Jetta, but it is her primary vehicle, and her historic cell site data from her cellular telephone records support her phone was in the area. As such, I believe Harley was likely driving the Jetta. Investigators were able to download telematics and stored electronic data from the Tiguan. A more in-depth exploration of the Tiguan's electronic systems, more specifically its historical locations, were developed and will be discussed below in more detail, beginning in paragraph 152. Investigators were able to determine some of the locations of the Tiguan on the night of January 28, 2020, including its location history on Highway 105 South Perry Park Road in Douglas County, Colorado. Investigators also served a search warrant to AT&T related to international mobile subscriber identity designated to the Tiguan's CarNet feature. AT&T responded to this search warrant and provided network event location system data that would give an estimate of location for that Tiguan. The data revealed that during the evening of January 28, 2020, between 20:30 hours and 20:20 hours, the Tiguan was generally in the greater northwest portion of Colorado Springs and likely in the area north of the Air Force Academy and southern Douglas County. I submit that during this time, investigators believe that Leticia disposed of Gannon's remains. Of note, during the time period approximately 20:30 and 20:20 hours on January 28th, Harley's cell phone is connected to a tower that would service the Stauch residence over approximately 30 minutes from Leticia's suspected location. There was activity on Haley's telephone during that time, and investigators do not believe that Haley was with Leticia when she disposed of the body. However, at approximately 22:26 hours, Harley's phone leaves the Stauch residence and goes to the area of Powers and Carefree, where investigators suspect that she picked Leticia up. The January 29th, 2020 interview and the report of the alleged rape of Leticia Stauch. Okay, are you following this now? Let's see.
Yep.
No, I'm watching the chat for a second to make sure they're all here on the same page. Do you guys want to keep going with the affidavit in the chat?
Thanks for going over this, actually, because it is a good refresher for a lot of us. And for those who aren't familiar with the case. So thank you. I think we should continue.
Okay.
Yes.
Just want to make sure the chat's good. Is the chat good? Anne says yes. Whisper says yes. Okay. Having a little cracker so I can have the sustenance to go through this because there's a lot left. You're listening, Eva? Okay. Well, most of you know this, so like you're probably like me. Maybe you forgot some little things and it's refreshing your memory, and maybe some of you don't know it at all, like Al. Okay. As mentioned above, Leticia voluntarily came to the El Paso Sheriff's Office for an interview with investigators, but only after she was evasive and avoided speaking with investigators one-on-one. Her interview was audio and video recorded, and the below information includes her own statements, as well as investigators geared towards corroborating those statements. Investigation geared towards cooperating those statements. In general, her statements are reasonably categorized as untruthful, incomplete, and misleading. Not good. Leticia was supposed to arrive at 10 a.m. on January 29, 2020, but she didn't arrive until noon. Although she spoke with investigators on the phone several times, she did not want investigators coming to her home and was difficult at best to track down. Investigators provided food and water to Leticia during her interview. Of interest, Leticia brought several pieces of notebook paper with her that contained notes that she had written down. During the interview, she referred to these pieces of paper and asked investigators if she could just read her notes. Investigators were not able to seize these documents. I have conducted hundreds of interviews of subjects, victims, and witnesses. It is extremely rare for an individual to bring notes to an interview. Leticia drastically departed from her initial statements given to the EPSO deputies regarding the report of Gannon's disappearance. In summary, Leticia said she had been held at gunpoint and raped by a Hispanic male she knew as Eduardo, and that Gannon was abducted by that male after he finished R-ing her. The interviewing detectives believed her statements were false based on prior experience investigating SA cases. I know Lisa Nagel, right? Leticia said she arrived home at 14:30 hours on January 27, 2020, and she disarmed her security system and she went into the basement. She said Eduardo was in the basement, attacked her, and pointed a gun at her. She said that after Eduardo held her at gunpoint, he allowed her to go upstairs to greet her stepdaughter, Athena Strand, who had just arrived home from school. Leticia said she sent her to go outside to ride her bike and then returned to the basement where Eduardo R-ed her against her will between 15:30 and 16:30 hours. So he R-ed her for an hour while Lena was outside riding her bike. And during this period, she believes that she had hit her head and may have blacked out. Investigators noted no injuries on Leticia's head during their contact with her. Leticia also said during the attack that Gannon jumped on Eduardo's back and that Eduardo was able to throw Gannon off of his back and across the room. After Eduardo had finished, he had the gun held to Gannon and demanded a suitcase. Leticia provided him with a brown suitcase and a cardboard box. Eduardo attempted to R her again, but she hit her head and blacked out again. Leticia stated that she tried to fight Eduardo off, but was unsuccessful. I know from training and experience that if an individual holds another person at gunpoint, he or she would likely not allow the person to have an opportunity for escape, as Leticia described, being allowed to go upstairs and greet her stepdaughter before returning to the basement. More crucially, if Leticia's story was accurate, any reasonable person would have immediately called 911 and reported the home invasion or and kidnapping of their child. Leticia called law enforcement hours later and did not report the alleged SA until approximately 2 days later. Of even more significance, Leticia said she cleaned up the area where this alleged attack had happened. She straightened up signs of disturbances in Gannon's room and cleaned up the utility room. Investigators recovered cleaning supplies such as carpet brushes, which contain suspected carpet fibers. I submit that Leticia did in fact clean something up, but it was the murder scene of Gannon, not an SA. Why did she make the story up? High Speed Drifter asked. Because she's trying to get out of what she did here. She's trying to get out of this. Investigators took steps to corroborate Leticia's statements before dismissing them as false and misleading. For example, investigators reviewed video footage from a neighborhood security camera that captured the exterior of the Stauch residence from the day of Gannon's murder and did not observe a Hispanic male entering the house. Investigators did observe Lena entering the home on the school bus at about 15:11 hours. They observed her enter the residence. They observed her riding her bike at about 15:30 hours. Furthermore, Leticia was offered the opportunity to have an SA nurse examiner conduct a forensic examination at a local hospital. Ultimately, Leticia did not want to have the exam completed. When given the opportunity to provide investigators with evidence that would possibly identify Eduardo, Leticia refused to cooperate. Leticia stated that she met Eduardo on January 26, 2020, the day prior to Gannon's murder. She generally described a Hispanic male with brown hair, brown eyes, but she couldn't provide any specific identifying information. But, okay, let's see. In summary, she told investigators that Gannon had knocked over a candle on Sunday, causing the carpet to burn. After the incident, she drove around the neighborhood where residential construction was taking place, and she met Eduardo, who was working on a house, and asked if he would repair the carpet in her home. Eduardo agreed, and Leticia provided him the garage door code. That's safe, right? That's safe. This guy that's working in the neighborhood, give him the code to your garage. That's good. While she's home alone and her husband's off on training. Yeah. Okay. And she just happens to go around on Sunday night and find this guy still working in the neighborhood on a Sunday and at night, no less. What's wrong with this picture? Just about everything. So she gives him the garage code, and he agrees he would repair the carpet while she was shopping the next day, because he's just so courteous like that, and he's just immediately knows how to repair a carpet when he was there, right? He's got everything he needs for that, repairing carpet. To the extent Leticia spoke about Lena, investigators were able to corroborate those statements, but never observed Eduardo or anyone else arrive or leave the residence during that time period based on exterior neighborhood video footage on the front of the Stauch residence. Specifically, exterior video footage revealed that Lena was riding her bike outside between approximately 15:30 and 15:42 hours. Furthermore, the front door of the residence opened and closed at 15:28 hours based on data from ADT security systems discussed more below. I know from training and experience that when individuals concoct lies, most reasonably to conceal the truth, they oftentimes leave portions of truths within those lies, right? There's a little bit of truth in the lies. I submit that the statements Leticia made regarding Lena and the time period Lena was at the residence are likely true based on the video evidence. Her other statements, however, are blatant lies designed to mislead investigators. Investigators also reviewed Leticia's phone records during the time period of the alleged SA of 15:30 to 16:30 hours on January 27, 2020. And during this time period, Leticia had phone activity to include an outgoing phone call and numerous iMessages, which are text messages using an iPhone, to Mr. Stauch and to Harley, namely to discuss purchasing a new set of headphones for Albert. The text messages occurred at the following times: 15:41, 15:42, 15:43, 15:44, 15:45, 16:11, 16:19, and 16:20. So if we believe her story, she was able to make all these text messages, right, during this essay from Eduardo. Investigators also were granted a search warrant by this court that was served to ADT Home Security, which requested data stored on the ADT servers related to the Stauch residence. The Stauch residence was equipped with basement and living room motion detectors and contact detectors on the front and rear door. ADT was in possession of logs that documented the time, date, and type of event that generated a log. For example, when either a motion detector was activated or the front or rear door opened or closed, there is a record of that event. Leticia claimed that she was R'd in the basement between 14:30 and 15:30 hours. That's wrong. You see, there's a mistake there. She said 15:30 to 16:30. They have the wrong times there. During that time, the back door of the residence, located on the main level, was opened and closed 10 times. If indeed Leticia was being R'd in the basement, it would be impossible for her to open the upstairs back door of the residence at the same time. I submit that Leticia's claims of being R'd in the basement are false based on the cell phone activity and the stored ADT data. See, right there, if a judge is looking at this, that's wrong. The activity would have been prior to when she said that the SA occurred. There's a big mistake there. Now, she either wrote the wrong times in there, and it was in conjunction with what she says is the SA, or it's totally wrong. The logs from the ADT indicate significant activity in the basement of the residence, which evidence suggests Gannon was murdered. For example, January 23rd, 2020 and January 26, 2020, in the hours of 15 to 1700, the average number of basement motions was 3.5. On January 27, 2020, the average number of basement motions was 10.3. A possible scenario for the increase in activity is that Leticia was going upstairs and downstairs in order to get cleaning supplies and cleaning the murder scene. Towards the end of the interview, Leticia said she wanted to leave. Investigators seized her telephone and detained her while they applied for a search warrant to obtain DNA collection. Leticia began stuffing tissues in her pants. Okay. So everybody remember this one? She's stuffing tissues, you're welcome, in her pants at the police interview. Okay, towards the end of the interview, I want to leave, she says, and investigators took her telephone, they detained her while they applied for a search warrant to obtain DNA collection from her, and Leticia began stuffing tissues in her pants and said she was having chest pain and shortness of breath. Investigators immediately requested medical assistance, and paramedics from the Colorado Springs Fire Department arrived. Leticia had appropriate responses to the paramedics' questions. I'm aware that Leticia has made statements regarding Gannon's disappearance to individuals other than law enforcement, including but not limited to her friend, her husband, and the media. Indeed, some of these conversations have been captured, memorialized, and recorded. And in recorded phone conversations and email messages, Leticia's stories have continued to evolve. And material facts continue to change, including but not limited to the identity of her attacker, the location of Gannon's abduction, and the details of the alleged R. During her statements, Leticia did deny killing Gannon and provided explanations as to why there was blood in her Tiguan, blood in Gannon's room, and why she was in the area of Palmer Lake, Colorado. Leticia is transported to a local hospital in Colorado Springs on January 29, 2020. Leticia was transported to the hospital via ambulance from the EPSO for further medical attention. Leticia was accompanied by a detective during the ride to the hospital. Unlike questions at EPSO by paramedics, during the ambulance ride, Leticia was unresponsive to questions by medical personnel and seemed to have a miraculous recovery when they arrived at the hospital. The ambulance ride was audio recorded. Leticia received medical care at the hospital, and the details of that care is not included in this affidavit for medical privacy reasons. Leticia did not have any life-threatening issues and signed herself out prior to all her exams being completed. Leticia continued evasive behavior at the hospital, but particularly after investigators told her they were going to detain her pending the issuance of a search warrant to collect her DNA. Ultimately, the search warrant for the collection of non-testimonial evidence was signed and executed. A second warrant for the compelled SANE exam was initially authorized by the court, but that was squashed by the court. To be clear, Leticia did not allow a SANE exam to be completed. Leticia was not in custody after the warrant was executed at the hospital and left the hospital without telling investigators. She also made a phone call from the waiting room at the hospital. There were physical surveillance being conducted by law enforcement in the area, and investigators learned Leticia was picked up by an unknown person at the hospital and was reunited with her daughter several miles from the hospital. Although her behavior was not illegal, I submit that as pressure continued to increase from investigators, Leticia became more and more desperate to leave the hospital, likely because she feared being caught in her lies. Furthermore, Leticia did not want to pursue collecting evidence that might assist law enforcement in identifying and finding her supposed arsonist. Searches of Leticia's residence and discovery of confirmed blood in Gannon's bedroom. Investigators searched the Stauch residence several times over several weeks after applying for and being granted search warrants from this court. The purpose of these searches was to collect evidence, including biological evidence in support of the captioned investigation. The forensic searches were conducted by Colorado Springs Metro Crime Lab. To avoid confusion, I remember when this was all going on in real time. I'm sure a lot of you do too. Okay. I remember exactly where the house and I saw the crime scene trucks out there. Okay. They found traces of blood throughout the residence based on the Blue Star Forensics latent blood stain reagent tests. There was visible blood in Gannon's room, in the garage, and other portions of the house. Blue Star Forensic stain has similar limitations to luminol, which has been described and discussed above. By way of background, the residence located at 6627 Mandan Drive, Colorado Springs, Colorado, is a ranch-style, single-family home, approximately 2,500 square feet, with a 2-car attached garage. There are 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms in the residence. 2 of those bedrooms are in the basement, including Gannon's. Next to Gannon's room, there is an unfinished utility room, and on the other side of the basement, another bedroom and bathroom. There's a staircase with a small landing that allows access from the main level to the basement, and the garage is accessible from the inside of the residence. The Blue Star reagent was applied to Gannon's bedroom, the hallway leading to the utility room from his bedroom, the utility room itself, and the staircase and landing leading upstairs from the utility room. The pathway to the garage from the stairs and the garage area itself. In all of these areas, investigators found positive results for the likely presence of blood. Specifically, in Gannon's bedroom, Blue Star reaction at the base of the stairs in the garage at the Stauch residence. Specifically in Gannon's bedroom, in a corner of the room, investigators located an area which suspected blood had seeped through the carpet, through the pad, and stained the concrete. Furthermore, there was also blood stain and projected blood spatter located on the walls in this area. Indeed, over 50 droplets of suspected blood were found on the walls near Gannon's bed. Crime scene investigators also suspected someone attempted to clean the walls based on the way the Blue Star reagent reacted on the wall. Gannon's mattress was also seized and contained a red stain consistent with blood in the same area as the stain of the carpet and the blood cast off of the walls. The stain on the mattress was swabbed with They were swabbed but were not tested with Blue Star reagent. The laboratory results have not yet been returned. But because of the other blood in the area was determined to be Gannon's blood, investigators suspect the blood on the mattress is also Gannon's blood. I have included several crime scene photographs that include the wall next to Gannon's bed and the carpet pad that was removed by investigators to expose the concrete below. Based on the orientation of Gannon's bed, the vast majority of the blood would be in line with the position of his head and torso and consistent with the stain of the mattress displayed above. I submit that the blood located in Gannon's room appears to have been cleaned up based on the residual blood residue on the baseboards and electrical outlet cover and the blood that soaked through the carpet. DNA laboratory testing has confirmed it was indeed Gannon's blood, and Gannon's body has not been found, reasonably indicating that this was likely the scene of Gannon's murder. Investigators have requested but have not yet received a report from Tom Griffin, who is an international Association for Identification certified senior crime scene analyst, a blood stain pattern analyst, and a crime scene reconstructionist. Mr. Griffin examined the blood spatter on Gannon's walls. Mr. Griffin preliminarily reported the stains on the wall are consistent with one or more blood spatter producing events, which could include gunshot, blunt force, or a stabbing. Okay, hold on. I had to clean my glasses. They were really bad. Mr. Griffin did not believe the blood stains were aspirated blood, primarily due to the lack of air bubbles in the stains. Furthermore, the shape of the stains were affected by the surface texture of the drywall itself. The final report from Mr. Griffin has not yet been received and is pending a peer review. Trace evidence swabs of suspected blood were obtained from the electrical socket next to Gannon's bed. These swabs revealed the blood was indeed Gannon's blood based on DNA profile testing. The electrical socket also had evidence of streak marks, which were reasonably suspected to be from Leticia's attempted cleaning. When investigators removed the outlet cover, a visible red stain was present, outlining its edges. The presence of this stain tends to support that there was enough blood around the outlet cover to seep around its edges, leaving a visible outline. There's a photo with the missing. I have also included a photograph of the suspected bloodstain in the concrete, located in the corner of the bedroom where Gannon's bed was positioned. This stain is also visible in the photo depicting the suspected blood spatter on the walls. The carpet above this stain in the concrete was clean, and investigators suspect that Leticia cleaned the area based on carpet fibers on scrub brushes. The acquisition of carpet cleaning supplies, vinegar and baking soda, 6627 Mandan Drive, was a new construction build, and the Stauch family was the only family to reside in this residence. This is blood on the
333,
concrete.
make a wish.
Oh, thanks. Blood on the concrete. This, let's see what this looks like. Carpet there. So, but it says blood on the concrete of Gannon's bedroom. So, all right, this must be the carpet that they removed. On January 29, 2020, investigators recovered a piece of carpet. Oh, yeah, that's the carpet. From the utility room with possible blood stains. The recovery of this carpet tends to further support the positive alerts from the Blue Star reagent in the utility room. The Metro Crime Lab reported the substance tested presumptively positive for the presence of blood, but was unable to develop a DNA profile. On January 29th, investigators found in the dishwasher multiple carpet brushes with suspected carpet fibers on them, and the dishwasher appears to have been run. Investigators believe these brushes were used to clean up the murder scene. To be clear, no formal testing was completed to confirm the fibers on the brushes were carpet. Investigators also located an empty gallon-sized container of vinegar within the residence. Mr. Stauch believed that there was approximately half of the container left before he left for Oklahoma on January 25th. As mentioned above, additional vinegar was purchased on January 27, 2020. The El Paso Sheriff's Office deputies that responded to the Stauch home on January 27, 2020 did not notice the bloodstains in Gannon's bedroom, and it should be noted the initial report was that Gannon had left the home and had not returned. As additional information was developed, more forensic searches of Gannon's room were conducted, which revealed the aforementioned evidence. There were small traces of blood found in the depressions of drywall and paint texture that Leticia failed to remove when she cleaned the murder scene. I have received and viewed Metro Crime Laboratory's report lab case completed by serologist Sherio Holmes. Although I have discussed results related to this DNA testing and order portions of this affidavit, the intention of this section is to provide clarity and eliminate ambiguity. Oh, I can't even talk anymore. Ambiguity of which samples were submitted to the laboratory and which samples were or were not attributable.
Attainable?
I got it. I have to get my mouth working again. Attributable to Gannon Stauch's DNA. Additionally, there is unknown contributor in some of the DNA profiles that were developed. As mentioned elsewhere in the affidavit, I do not have a biology background, but I'm aware that a DNA profile is very accurate. Investigators submitted swabs from Gannon Stauch's toothbrush bristles, toothbrush head, and from a tooth retainer that Mr. Stauch said belonged to Gannon. DNA buccal swabs were also taken from Gannon's biological father, mother, and from Leticia Stauch. From these samples, DNA profiles for these individuals were developed and used as a comparison for other testing. Okay. In summary, Gannon's DNA profile was found from blood samples taken in the garage on the outside of size 8.5 Nike shoes and in Gannon's bedroom. Leticia's DNA was recovered from the interior of the size 8.5 Nike shoes. I submit to the court that the lab results tend to corroborate the theory that Gannon was indeed murdered in the bedroom, brought into the garage, and his remains loaded in the Volkswagen Tiguan, subsequently to be disposed of in an unknown location. To be more specific, a serology study was conducted by the Metro Crime Laboratory, and the following samples tested positive for the presence of blood. These samples were also analyzed and compared to known DNA profiles of Gannon Stauch, Leticia Stauch, and Albert Stauch. Okay, so here we have taken from a piece of carpet found inside a carpet roll in the utility room. There was a mixture of 3 contributors, at least one which is male. A DNA profile was not suitable for comparison due to the number of contributors and the complexity of the mixture. The next sample was taken from the garage of the Stauch residence, directly under where the rear hatch of the Tiguan was reversed into the garage. And this DNA profile from the blood is a mixture of 2 contributors, one which is a male The male profile matches, the major profile matches Gannon Stauch. Then there's another one, taken from the garage of the Stauch residence directly under where the rear hatch of the Tiguan was reversed into the garage, and the DNA profile from the blood is a mixture of two contributors, one of which is a male, and the major profile matches Gannon Stauch. Another one taken from the garage underneath the rear hatch. This one has a DNA profile from the blood, and it matches Gannon Stauch. Another one taken from the carpet at the base of the garage stairs has a DNA profile that could not be developed, but tested presumptively positive for the presence of blood. Another one taken from the blood-stained carpet fibers in Gannon's bedroom. A DNA profile was obtained from the blood and matches the DNA profile of Gannon Stauch. Another taken from the corner of Gannon's bedroom on the carpet pad is a DNA profile from the blood stain that matches Gannon Stauch. Another from the electrical outlet in Gannon's bedroom by his bed. The DNA profile stain is a mixture of two individuals, at least one of which is male. The major profile matches the DNA profile of Gannon Stauch. Then another one taken from the electric socket in Gannon's bedroom by his bed. The DNA profile obtained from the blood matches the DNA profile of Gannon Stauch. Another taken from the back side of the carpet in Gannon's bedroom near his bed. A DNA profile was obtained from the blood, and it matches the DNA profile of Gannon Stauch. Okay, another taken from a blood stain on top of the foam from the carpet in Gannon's bedroom. Again, the DNA profile is that of Gannon Stauch. One taken from the trunk area of the Volkswagen Tiguan was found to be negative for the presumptive presence of blood. Another one taken from a teal couch pillow in the basement was found to be presumptive positive for the presence of blood, but no DNA profile was able to be developed. And then another one taken from the outsole of the right Nike shoe. A DNA profile was obtained after swabbing a confirmed blood stain on the outsole of the right size 8.5 Nike shoe, was found to match the DNA profile of Gannon Stauch. Furthermore, a DNA profile was obtained from the swab of the inside of the shoe, which matched the DNA profile for Leticia Stauch. So they were her sneakers and they had his blood on the outside, her DNA on the inside. Investigators applied for and were granted search warrants, historical cell site data for related cellular telephones by this court to obtain historical cell data records to include cell site locations of cellular devices known to be utilized by Leticia and Harley. URAFEN has reviewed the information from this analysis and, in summary, learned the following information. Historical cell site analysis helps to determine the location of a cellular telephone based on cell tower antenna locations and orientation. Locations are determined by activity of the cellular telephone and represent an approximate area, not an exact location. Different cellular carriers report this information in different formats and fashions. The historical cell site analysis identified unusual activity for Leticia, including potentially disconnecting her cell phone from the cellular network for several hours. I submit by disconnecting the telephone, Leticia intended to prevent law enforcement from being able to determine her location. Specifically, this occurred on January 28, 2020, during the evening that she disposed of Gannon's remains. Does anyone remember her family got a chat going using names or had names not recognized, and my sister and myself were on there. I couldn't believe them. What? Your sister? What? What again? Does anyone remember her family got a chat going using names or had names not recognized, and my sister and myself was on there? I couldn't believe them. As soon as we realized we removed ourselves. You, Anne Rose, you were in a chat? Are you talking about in a Facebook group with her? What? I don't know, Ann. You should call in with that story. I don't know what you're talking about there, but it sounds interesting. Investigators applied for and were granted a search warrant for Leticia's cellular telephone. Search of Leticia's cellular telephone. Physical download was conducted, and investigators were able to recover data inclusive of text messages, call records, and the specific times her cell phone was unlocked, battery levels, and other information. In summary, investigators learned that Leticia lied to her employer, her husband, her friends, her daughter, and the children's babysitter. I will not include each and every text message or lie. Additionally, there are messages that would otherwise tend to corroborate her statements about Gannon's whereabouts on the afternoon of January 27th, 2020, if in fact he did go to play with his friends. As discussed in other portions of the affidavit, Leticia's story was false and misleading. And these messages were likely sent by her as part of a larger plan to support her initial lies about her disappearance. For example, on January 28, 2020, at approximately 5:14 hours, Leticia had a conversation with Stephanie, the children's babysitter, saved in the phone as Stephanie Sitter. There is no indication that Gannon ever went to a doctor, and Leticia never brought that up with investigators. Some, but not all, of their conversation is below. Ann Rose, I don't know if you were with us when I think you're new to the channel, relatively new. I mean, you've been here for a little bit now, but I don't think you were with us when we covered Leticia, right? You only recently found us, right? So it's interesting that you were into this, right? Yeah. Okay, so she's got a message to Stephanie Sitter, outgoing, that happened at after 3:30, and then she's got one from Stephanie Sitter. We talked to him and then told him to be home by 6. And then Stephanie Sitter again, incoming. Someone posted he wasn't at school either. And then from Leticia, he had to go to the doctor for his stomach. I guess that's Leticia. Stephanie then replies, she's not replying yet, Leticia is, but he was here in the afternoon. And then again to Stephanie, and then she's got an incoming one. Where did he say he was at? And then an outgoing one. I don't keep up with friends. Leticia made statements to investigators via text message that could be considered exculpatory in nature, related to the presence of blood in the basement of the residence, as seen in the text messages. I have talked with investigators that were inside the Stauch residence on January 27th, 28th, and 29th. There was no odor of smoke and no evidence of smoke. In fact, one detective noted the basement smelled like coconut and was very pleasant. Furthermore, I know that burns oftentimes do not produce wounds that bleed profusely, and this is when there was no evidence of that burn. So, Nicole, owner, outgoing. When we came back inside from the smoke, there was blood on both of us. I don't know what to do. I was scared I would get fussed at about it, and I didn't know if he should go to the doctor. I kept trying to add the candle thing, but Albert kept saying it was small and minor. I was scared the basement was smoky, and when I threw the covers on everything, we both had blood. You don't understand how hard it is to be a stepmom. The below message appears to contain instructions from Leticia to Harley to purchase carpet powder, baking soda, trash bags on or about January 27, 2020, 4:52 p.m. These messages are important because investigators believe the purpose of these items was to clean up blood from the murder of Gannon. And the text message was also referenced above in paragraph 72 to 76. It was outgoing. Carpet powders, 2 things, baking soda, trash bags. Investigators also recovered limited GPS and location data from Leticia's phone. There are crucial time periods, such as the evening of January 28, 2020, that investigators were not able to recover location history because Leticia disconnected her phone from the cellular network or turned her phone off. Leticia stored several written notes within her iPhone. The majority of these notes contained what appeared to be usernames, passwords, or insurance information. There were several notes that appeared to reference her unhappiness in the relationship and shed some lights on potential household instability. Leticia's internet activity between January 25th to 29th. I was able to review some, but possibly not all, of the stored internet search history and the websites visited recovered from the forensic physical download and search of Leticia's iPhone. Between the dates of January 25th and January 28th, 2020, Leticia viewed websites associated with searching for a job in states other than Colorado, such as Los Angeles, California, Orlando, Florida, Pensacola Beach, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Leticia also viewed apartments and 2-bedroom rental properties in Florida. Additionally, she visited a moving cost calculator website. Leticia's internet activity also captured the search for a rental car and visited the website Priceline.com. On January 28, 2020, at or about 8:17 hours, I submit that timing is consistent with the acquisition of the Kia Rio mentioned in this affidavit. Leticia appeared to use Google, a popular online search engine. I have included some of her queries to Google along with the date and approximate time of the search. Hi, Pipple. Not all of her Google searches are included below. I submit that Leticia's search history is important because the history suggests she might have been struggling as a step-parent, and additionally suggests she was not happily married to Mr. Stauch. See items 1, 10, 12, 13, 14. While her search history alone does not provide motive to murder Gannon, it does shed light on her inquisitive thoughts of her position with the family, memorialized in a Google search engine. I also direct the court's attention to the way Leticia's search terms are sometimes entered. Leticia hits the quotes key, hits the period key instead of the space key multiple times when searching the internet in approximately 44% of the searches listed below. This will be significant during the discussion of a search conducted on Gannon's phone, as was discussed above in paragraph 40 and will be further discussed below. There were other searches on Leticia's phone that use a period, and additional search history over a longer time span exists that is not listed below. Okay, these are her searches. 1. Find real military singles. 2. Parenting should be 4 people, not 1. 3. I'm overdoing all the work for my stepkids and their mom doesn't help. These were all on January 25th that I'm reading. Mom advice from stepmom. If you aren't involved in your kid's life, you are shitty. My husband's ex-wife does nothing for her kids. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a card since I raise her kids. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a Valentine's card since I raise her kids. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a Valentine's card since I raise her kids. One day, some people will wish they treated you differently. One day, some people will wish they treated you differently. Why should my husband choose me over family? Find me a rich guy who wants me to take care of his kids. Find a guy who wants me to take care of his kids and get paid. It's crappy some parents don't care for their kids or buy them presents. 126 now we're on. Parents are those who put their kids before their nails. Parents are those who put their kids before their nails. My son burned the carpet. How do I fix it? That was 127. Will humidifier help if exposed to smoke? 127. Smoke effects. Will humidifier help? Smoke from fire effects. Will humidifier help? Colorado law for kids staying at home. School is out. Is it okay for my kid to stay home alone? Son is sick, but I have to go to work. Son is sick. Can he stay home? Suede repair for sofa. El Paso Sheriff's Office number. This is 27. What is the process for our runaway child? 128. Police steps for our runaway. 128. Police steps for our missing child. 128. Today's flights, Oklahoma City to Colorado Springs. Can Nintendo find my Switch? 128. CarNet Volkswagen. They are asking for our son's toothbrush, but said nothing is wrong. Leticia's search activity from her iPhone spanning from 125 to 2020 and to 128 2020. Investigators were also able to recover internet search history that was deleted from Leticia's phone. No time and date association was located with the data, and I can only ascertain that some searches were conducted prior to EPSO seizing Leticia's phone on January 29th, 2020. Some, but not all, of the search history is included below. Some of the other deleted search terms, including travel planning, shopping, job searches, and other seemingly innocent activity. I have not purposely left out particular searches that would be exculpatory in nature. I am not intending to portray that all of Leticia's deleted searches were nefarious in nature. And these are Find Me a New Husband book. I feel like I'm just a nanny, not a stepmom. Husband uses me to babysit his kids. Are there any free money to move away from a bad situation? My husband never posts about me, but does everything else. My husband only cleans up for the army, not me. I'm just a glorified babysitter. Find a new husband. Sent my husband sexual messages and he ignores them. Make my husband want me more. I feel like my husband uses me to babysit his kid. Find a guy without kids. Some deleted internet search terms located on Leticia's iPhone. No date information was available. Leticia Stauch. I think it's supposed to be consciousness of guilt, but they have it spelled wrong. Okay, so during the first 24 to 48 hours surrounding the disappearance of a child, it is reasonable that an assumingly innocent parent or step-parent would be contributing to search efforts and fully participating in the effort to recover the child. In the 24 to 48 hours surrounding Gannon's disappearance, Leticia rented a vehicle, turned her cell phone off for approximately 4 hours on the evening of January 28, 2020. She washed her Tiguan immediately prior to coming to the EPSO for an interview. She evaded law enforcement's attempts to conduct a more in-depth interview and did not participate in the search for Gannon. On Tuesday, January 28, 2020, between 8:48 and 8:54, Leticia instructed Harley to pull your car in the garage via text message, presumably to cover up any potential evidence left behind. To be clear, Harley has her own vehicle that was mentioned above in paragraph 13, specifically a Volkswagen Jetta. On January 28, 2020, at approximately 16:04 to 16:17 hours, investigators asked Leticia for Gannon's toothbrush to recover his DNA. At or about 16:19 hours, Leticia did a search in her internet browser of "They are asking for our son's toothbrush," but said nothing is wrong. At or about 16:31 to 16:33, Leticia has a text conversation with Mr. Stauch. Leticia: Something isn't right. I think they are hiding something. Mr. Stauch. Who? The police? Leticia. Yes, they asked for toothbrushes. Mr. Stauch. What do you think they're hiding? Also on January 28, 2020, at about 22:45 hours, Leticia made a statement to investigators via text message. At the time of this statement, Gannon had been missing for approximately 27 hours, and Leticia believed she was the subject in his disappearance without any prior prompting from law enforcement or notification of such. Leticia. What do you want from me? Because I have nothing. One of your very own leaked to me what you guys were doing. I did nothing and or am being set up. I'm not really even sure, other than being told that by another blue with El Paso. I was told I couldn't go home to sleep, and on top of that, men were sent to a home with a minor female, and she was forced to stay there, not to even leave for food. Every conversation that said, even at this moment, I can hear inside. What do you want from me? Detective Bethel. Come in to talk to me. I would like information to find Gannon. After EPSO investigators seized Leticia's Volkswagen Tiguan on January 29, 2020, she obtained a 2020 Nissan Altima. Investigators applied for and were granted a search warrant for the court to install GPS tracker on the vehicle. Investigators monitored this tracking device, which provided particularly useful information on January 31st, 2020. A map with some of this data is included below. The information will be discussed below and relates to the area north of Palmer Lake and along Highway 105S Perry Park Road in Douglas County, Colorado. In summary, investigators believe Leticia utilized the rented Nissan Altima to return to the area where she disposed of Gannon's body. Indeed, investigators recovered a piece of particle board from this area with Gannon's blood on it. The information will be discussed in detail below. Okay. This is her GPS data. So, January 31st, in the area of Palmer Lake, Colorado, the fact that Leticia came back to the area on January 31st is significant. And investigators have not uncovered any evidence that Leticia has family or friends in that area, or any legitimate reason for her presence in that area other than to dispose of incriminating evidence. I submit a reasonable theory for the fact that Leticia returned to this area based on the information presented in this affidavit as follows. Leticia disposed of Gannon's remains at nighttime and likely was nervous about the location she chose. She may not have even remembered exactly where she dumped Gannon's remains. Investigators believe that on January 31st, 2020, she went back to the area to view the area while sunlight was available to ensure no evidence was viewable from the road, to ensure his remains were adequately covered to prevent detection, and to see if any law enforcement was in the area. The exploitation of the Volkswagen Tiguan data. Investigators were able to remove a computer chip from Leticia's Volkswagen Tiguan, which was examined by the FBI, and the FBI was able to recover data, hereinafter raw data, which included but is not limited to estimated location of the vehicle specifically related to the evening of January 28, 2020, and the morning of January 29, 2020. The raw data has not been scientifically evaluated, and the raw data provided was not portrayed to be an exact representation of the vehicle's activities. Additionally, I have been told that the raw data has particular limitations, including the inability to show exact locations of the vehicle. For example, if the Tiguan was taken off-road, the raw data may not show that and display the estimated location of the nearest road. Further, the estimated location may have some degree of fluctuation in accuracy. Estimated to be approximately 50 to 100 meters. FBI agents, including Special Agent Donati, took steps to verify and corroborate the data recovered from the Tiguan. In summary, S.A. Donati was able to take some of the raw data, including location and timestamps, and compare it to other evidence. As with other forensic evidence discussed in the affidavit, investigators believe it to be reliable. For example, the Tiguan raw data placed the Tiguan leaving the Colorado Springs airport just after 1900 hours on January 28, 2020. This information matched the timestamp of the January 28, 2020 Colorado Springs airport parking receipt to the Tiguan data. The Tiguan raw data indicated the Tiguan stopped near a King Soopers parking lot for approximately 10 minutes after leaving the airport between 2008 hours to 2018 hours. S.A. Donati was able to review video surveillance footage from the King Soopers, which indeed showed a dark SUV matching the description of the Tiguan sitting in the parking lot during the same time period. Other footage, including video footage from a Wendy's restaurant in a separate location, helped to further corroborate the raw data. Of significant importance, the raw data showed the Tiguan in the area of Highway 105 South Perry Park Road between 21:15 and 21:30 hours on January 28, 2020, and I have included a map depicting that data. The recovery of Gannon's blood on February 15, 2020. This is the same area that Leticia likely drove in her Nissan Altima rental vehicle on January 31st. The recovery of Gannon's blood in this area is discussed below. Tiguan raw data depicting activities on Highway 105 South Perry Park Road on 1/28/2020. Investigators were also able to compare Leticia's historical cell site data information, including Nilos data, against the Tiguan raw data, and found no reason to believe that Leticia was not the driver of the Tiguan on January 28, 2020. The continued evolution of Leticia's stories. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. Investigators conducted several consensual, monitored telephone calls with Mr. Stauch. Specifically, Mr. Stauch, at the direction of law enforcement, communicated that Leticia via telephone and email. These communications had been recorded and memorialized and consisted of hours of recorded conversation. I will not provide a transcript of these calls, but will summarize the importance of particular changes in Leticia's story and will also include exculpatory information related to Leticia's statements. Leticia never admitted to killing Gannon. For the purposes of refreshing the court, here is a summary of some of Leticia's statements, whether to law enforcement, directly through the media, and or to Mr. Stauch in recorded email and voice communications. On January 27, 2020, Leticia stated, Gannon left to play at a friend's house and did not come home at 1800 hours like he was supposed to. 2 days later, Leticia, on January 29, 2020, Leticia stated she was held at gunpoint, AR'd, and Gannon was abducted by the person that AR'd her, Aguardo. Within Leticia's falsehoods, there are details corroborated by physical evidence that would be near impossible to know without being intimately involved in the murder. Leticia has made statements to explain blood on the walls in Gannon's bedroom, blood on the rear bumper of the Tiguan, and blood in the garage of the Stauch residence. Details of the location of blood evidence has not been released to the media nor to Leticia and has been closely held throughout this investigation. Furthermore, Leticia has continued to provide alibis for her physical locations not previously disclosed to investigators. Her statements continue to evolve in a drastic way and are all remarkably different from the original report to EPSO. The majority of the conversations between Leticia and Albert Stauch began around February 13, 2020. Over several days, Leticia's story continued to change. During a phone call on February 13, 2020, Leticia stated that Gannon was burned by a candle to the point that his skin bubbled. and that Gannon peeled the burns off and wiped the blood on his bedroom wall. Mr. Stauch did not ask about blood on the walls of his room during this call. The fact that she provided information about blood on the wall likely indicates her knowledge of the murder scene. On February 14th, 2020, Leticia had an additional conversation with Mr. Stauch and provided 4 additional versions of Gannon's disappearance. When EPSO came to the house on January 27th, the abductor was still in her residence, and she tried to signal to EPSO deputies that there was someone in the residence. It should be noted that EPSO deputies checked the entirety of the house and no additional person was located during the search. Story number 2. She was AR'd by Quincy Brown. That's Quincy Brown. Forgot about Quincy Brown. At her residence, and Brown abducted Gannon. She knew Brown's identity because she saw a paper, and his identification card fell out of his pocket that had his name on it. Leticia sent a photograph of Quincy Brown to Mr. Stauch via text message. It is noted that the photograph mirrored images online wherein Quincy Brown was listed as America's Most Wanted Suspect, discussed below. Story number 3. Quincy Brown followed her from Petco, and at some point was laying in the middle of the road in front of her car. When Leticia stopped to avoid running the man over, he jumped into her car and made her take him home, and then he AR'd her. Story number 4. Leticia and Gannon were near County Line Road, Highway 105 in northern El Paso County on January 27, 2020. Gannon was riding a bicycle in the area and fell off, hit his head, and was then abducted by Quincy Brown. In this version of events, Quincy Brown was driven by a man named Terrence. So I was trying to remember this one today. I knew there was a bike and everything. The February 2020 story, number 4, has several interesting considerations. During the period of February 12th to the 14th, it was public knowledge by virtue of media coverage that investigators were searching for Gannon in the area of Highway 105 South Perry Park Road in southern Douglas County near the El Paso County line. Leticia brought this location up on her own without prompting during any conversation and provided an alibi for why she was in that area. Leticia was adamant that investigators' efforts to search for Gannon in that area would be futile. The area turned out to be significant, based on the Tiguan's location on January 28, 2020, and that Gannon's blood was found in this area, discussed below in more detail. Furthermore, as mentioned above, Leticia drove through the same area in her Nissan Altima rental vehicle on January 31st, 2020. I submit that based on the raw data retrieved from the Tiguan, Leticia was likely in the area of Highway 105S, Perry Park Road, on the evening of January 28, 2020, and Gannon's remains were dumped in this vicinity of this area. Leticia's story lays the foundation for a reason why investigators may locate Gannon's body with head trauma. On February 15, 2020, Leticia provided additional conflicting stories to Mr. Stauch, including the story that she told Al Stauch about Gannon falling off the bike was a lie, because it was what she believed he wanted to hear. Leticia stated the blood in the corner of Gannon's room was a combination of hers and Gannon's. In this explanation, she stated that the abductor anally penetrated both her and Gannon with an object. Additionally, she was tied up at some point in the abduction, and the abductor was still present during EPSO visit that night. Quincy Brown, age 37, was listed on El Paso County's Most Wanted list February 10, 2020. I was able to locate Brown's photo on KKTV News website, where they described Brown as a black male. It is noted that during one of Leticia's stories, she described her artist as a Hispanic male. The photo of on the website appeared to be the same photo Leticia sent in to Mr. Stauch. Brown has outstanding arrest warrants for failure to register as an S offender and failure to appear. These warrants appear to have been open since 2018. I was able to find a criminal history for Quincy Brown. Date of birth 10/21/1981, which included but was not limited to a 2001 arrest for first-degree kidnapping in El Paso County Court case, blah, 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 which was pled to felony menacing. Investigators have uncovered no evidence to support that Quincy Brown was involved in Gannon's disappearance. Gannon's blood is located in Douglas County, Colorado on February 15, 2020. As mentioned above, investigators began to focus a search effort for Gannon's remains in an area of Highway 105 South Perry Park Road in Douglas County, Colorado on February 12, 2020. There is not an exact address to reference due to the rural nature of the area. The particular location was deemed important based on raw data from the Tiguan on January 28, 2020, and the location data from the rental vehicle on January 31, 2020. On February 15th, investigators located a piece of particle board during that search. The particle board had a stain that appeared to be consistent with blood and is pictured below. I have added a red circle to indicate the location of the blood stain. The particle board was collected by FBI Evidence Response Team and transported to the Metro Crime Lab, also on February 15, 2020. An initial test revealed positive presumptive result for the presence of human or high primate blood. Further testing was conducted and a DNA profile was developed and compared to Gannon's on February 16, 2020. The profile matched the DNA profile of Gannon Stauch and is documented in the Metro Crime Laboratory report. The reasonable explanation for the discovery of this particle board with Gannon's blood on it is that Leticia used this particle board during the disposal of Gannon's remains. The area in which the particle board was found is rural, and the ground was covered by approximately 6 to 12 inches of snow. Additionally, as the area is rural in nature, it is likely populated by wildlife, including predators such as bear, coyotes, and mountain lions. Gannon's remains have not been located, and while investigators will continue to search the area, it is possible that those remains have been scattered since January 28, 2020. The below map depicts the area where the particle board was recovered compared with raw data from the Nissan Altima on January 31st, 2020. It's raw data from the Tiguan's location while idling for approximately 5 minutes on January 28, 2020, and the GPS tracker data from the Nissan Altima on January 31st, 2020. As noted above, the raw data of the Tiguan has an estimated 50 to 100 meter variance. Additionally, investigators were granted a pen register trap and trace device order global positioning system, GPS pings, and cell site sector information. Investigators monitored Leticia's telephone and recorded hours of communication between Stauch and others. Each and every communication intercepted is not included within this affidavit. As during other portions of the investigation, Leticia continued to provide different stories to different people about Gannon's disappearance. Leticia provided false information to her sister and other family members, during which Leticia provided multiple different stories for what happened to Gannon. Several of those stories were discussed above. On a February 16, 2020 call at about 1928, Leticia told a female believed to be Tila Cummings that she had been giving Al numerous false stories because she knew he will not believe anything she says. On February 17, 2020, a call at or about 13:53 hours, I'm hungry. Leticia told a female believed to be associated with Laura Abernathy that she's thinking about flying out to Colorado to take a lie detector test to prove her innocence. And during that call, she stated, "They think I'm still in Colorado." On another February 17th call at about 16:11 hours, Leticia told an unknown female that she is going to take a lie detector test, but that the test is not admissible in court and no law enforcement would be present. Leticia attempted to obtain a fake polygraph result. On February 18, 2020, call at about 10:14 hours, Leticia called a number 321-247-6876. I conducted research on that phone number and learned that it was associated with fakepolygraph.com. During the call, Leticia stated she never got a confirmation for a test that she paid for. Leticia provided the spelling of her name, and before disconnecting the call, the unknown male stated that he would resend the results to her email. I viewed the website fakepolygraph.com and I found the following information. Get a fully verified fake polygraph test certificate proving you have taken a real polygraph test. You choose the questions, the location, and the results. We send you a fully verified receipt within 1 business hour. The fake polygraph results are emailed from a local and real polygraph company. If your partner calls the authentic company, our team will confirm the test details. We are sure they will believe you. We have nationwide real polygraph companies in the following countries: the UK, Ireland, Australia, USA, and Canada. Our polygraph reports are 3 to 4 pages and replicate a real report. The local polygraph company branding and contact details are the fake polygraph test report. The polygraph test results are emailed from a real polygraph company. That was a screenshot taken from there. Also on February 18th, 2020, on or about 11:16 hours, Leticia again called that number. During this call, Leticia inquired about an email she received. The unknown male stated that her report was blocked by management based on the content of the questions and stated that with any illegal activities, they reserve the right to not send the report. Leticia's response was the following. Leticia, what do you do now? Just delete it and go on about life and keep the money? A male at thefakepolygraph.com. Yes, we do indeed. Leticia, okay, I gotcha. Thank you. Goodbye. Investigations contacted Luke Devlin utilizing that phone number that Leticia called. Mr. Devlin provided information to investigators, including the questions and answers that Leticia had provided. Leticia provided the following questions and answers that were supposed to be truthful to fakepolygraph.com. Do you intend to answer these questions regarding your stepson truthfully? Yes. Is your birth date August 4th, 1983? Yes. Did you participate in any way in causing harm to your stepson? No. Did your stepson return with you to your home? Yes. Did you participate in any way to causing the death of your stepson? No. I submit to the court that if Leticia had nothing to hide, she would not have to pay for fake polygraph results. Based on data collected by the FBI and reported in the Journal of Forensic Sciences, I learned that in over 71% of homicide cases that involve false reporting, the reporting party is responsible for the murder. 71%. To be clear, the statistic is not being provided as sole probable cause for the requested warrant, but as an additional fact to be combined with others listed in this affidavit. Based on Leticia's internet history, it is reasonable to believe that she was unhappily married to Mr. Stauch and had some degree of resentment towards the family as a step-parent. Furthermore, days before Gannon's murder, Leticia appeared to be researching a move to another state to a 2-bedroom apartment. Leticia has not provided a fully truthful statement to investigators. at any point during this investigation, particularly regarding the circumstances of Gannon's disappearance. This would reasonably be suspected activity of an individual that committed the crime under investigation, namely murder. Within approximately 24 hours of Gannon being reported missing and without external prompt, Leticia made claims to law enforcement that she was being set up. Initially, Leticia said Gannon was playing with a neighborhood friend between approximately 15 hours and 1600 hours and was expected home at 1800 hours. Within a few days, Leticia changed her story to label herself a victim of felony menacing with a weapon and assault, resulting in Gannon's abduction by her aurist. Her stories continue to evolve to include a new location of Gannon's disappearance over 30 miles away, several completely different sets of circumstances and unprompted explanations for why Gannon's blood would be found by investigators in key locations. Leticia was unable to provide a logical reason why she rented another vehicle when she still had access to the Tiguan. Based on the aforementioned facts, it was likely because it contained the remains of, or evidence of Gannon's remains, based on positive reactions to luminol in the Tiguan on the bumper, indicating the likely presence of blood on the rear tailgate. A suspected blood sample from the interior of the trunk area returned a negative result for the presumptive presence of blood. Gannon's mattress has a large red stain on it that's consistent with blood. Based on the orientation of the mattress in the room, it appears that is where Gannon's head and upper torso would have been. Below that same area, a substance was confirmed as blood by the Metro Crime Laboratory, soaked through the carpet, the pad, stained the concrete. The blood matches the DNA profile for Gannon Stauch. In the same area, blood samples taken from the wall, namely an electrical outlet, were also confirmed to match Gannon's DNA profile. Gannon's blood again matched the DNA profile, was also found on a piece of particle board in the area of Highway 105 South Perry Park Road in Douglas County, Colorado. This particular area is consistent with Leticia's travels on January 28th, 2020 and January 31st, 2020, based on a GPS tracker locations of her Nissan Altima rental vehicle and raw data from the Tiguan. During her stories to Mr. Stauch without prompt, Leticia provided explanations for why blood would be found on Gannon's bedroom wall. Other than Leticia being present for Gannon's murder and being present for the cleaning of the murder scene, there's no reasonable explanation for how Leticia would know that there was blood on Gannon's wall, as that evidence had not been released to the media. Again, without prompt, Leticia provided an alibi for why she was in the area where the particle board was recovered. By combining cell tower data, reviewing video surveillance, and home security system logs, investigators believe, based on the evidence, that only 3 individuals with access to Gannon on the afternoon of January 27, 2020 were Leticia, Harley, and 8-year-old Lena. With the exception of Lena, who is not considered a suspect, it appears nobody other than Leticia was with Gannon at the Stauch residence between the hours of 14:16 and 17:34 hours on January 27, 2020, when investigators suspect that Leticia murdered Gannon. Gannon has been missing for approximately 4 weeks, and there has been national news attention on major networks related to his disappearance. Local efforts, including posters, news coverage, search teams, and social media postings, have also failed to locate Gannon. Aerial assets, infrared, FLIR technology, and other extraordinary methods have been deployed to help locate Gannon. Over 200 volunteers have helped to search for Gannon, comprising thousands of man-hours in several different locations. Additionally, although the EPSO has received hundreds of tips, nobody has provided information that has led to Gannon's location. His family and friends have not heard from him, and Gannon is only 11 years old with no financial resources. Leticia Stauch was the last person to see Gannon alive. Investigators have not located Gannon's remains at this point in time, although the search continues. As additional time increases without locating Gannon, the more likely it is Gannon is not alive. Based on the facts set forth above, I submit probable cause exists to believe that on or about January 27, 2020, within the state of Colorado and within El Paso County, Leticia Stauch committed the offenses in violation of Colorado Revised Statute to include murder in the first degree, child under 12, position of trust, child abuse resulting in death, tampering with a deceased human body, and tampering with physical evidence. Therefore, your affiant respectfully requests the issuance of an arrest warrant charging the same. 28th day of February. Wow, look at that. Isn't that crazy? It's the 28th day of February right now. The video with Phyllis also related to the Leticia Stauch case. Isn't that crazy? That happens so much when we revisit a case. It ends up on this right around the same time frame. It's happened so many times, but this is unbelievable. This is the 28th day of February. It's the 28th day of February.
That's amazing.
3 years later.
I don't know. It's very strange.
So that's that. And then we had that other, what was that amendment? I don't know where the other one was, because it goes into details about how, remember she was bringing Al's bike somewhere. All that stuff was going on. But there was another, where did I just have that other affidavit? I had another affidavit earlier. Let me see. This one. This one. This one. Was it this one? It was only 4. I had something that was 4 pages. Huh. Let's see. Not that. There was something else. It was from June. That was, I can't find it. I think it was. What's it? I think it was, oh, I know where it was. It was in the Colorado Judicial Complaint. Let's see. This is 3. Let's go over here. It was in June, so it was people subpoena, tangible, might have been this subpoena. Affidavit. Oh, here's another one. This might be it. Stauch. Was this? That was the one we just read. That was. Okay, so let me go to the one after that. Let's see. But they didn't put that in till 4-3. Granting the motion. That was the one that we unsealing. I remember that one. Hers was leaked out. Remember somebody leaked it out? Maybe this one. Oh, here it is. Okay. This was the other thing we had. This was, what was this? What we were looking at? It wasn't that one. Hold on. Not that one. It's right around that one. 4 pages though.
broken.
Might have been the tangible evidence. I don't know. We'll get to it tomorrow. We both read. But anyway, there's much more when she was bringing his bike. Remember, she was bringing Al's bike somewhere. That's how that whole bike thing. Then he wanted to ride it. So a lot more came out to elaborate on all those stories she had. Okay, but I think that's enough for now because it's almost 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm glad you helped us to remember. Yeah, we'll go over some more of it because they're going to. Yeah, hi Annie B. It's going to start jury selection soon, so we're going to finish off this Murdaugh case hopefully in the next few days and see what happens there. And hopefully we don't have to go through the whole trial again. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming in, and we will go over more of that tomorrow. All right, love you guys. God bless. Prayers for all that need, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.